The Sunday Sequence Break.
Oh my god, is it already over?
It is. And guess what, Flicky? Guess what?
What?
It is November 2nd, 2014 at 7:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do you know what time that means it is?
2nd of November.
However you say it over in
Sunday
Britain.
Sequence Break. I'm stealing it from you.
Do it. Get it. Own it.
I've taken it. It's episode 120, right?
It is.
Which is 60 times 2. And you know what that means, guys. I don't even have to say it.
That means it's episode 120. I'll say.
Exactly. You know what it means. And
Gotcha.
we are celebrating episode 120 with a famous movie series that totals up to 120 minutes long. It's the Lord of the Rings Return of the King movie series, starring all the great movie characters from the movies. Taking me through this star-studded movie event, we have co-host / normal host, Gildersleeve.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm not sure what I am right now, but I'm glad to be here.
I don't know if Fiesel's coming a bit later because he's got Best of Nez stuff doing. He might show up.
Oh, he is.
I don't think TJ will be here, but he's trying. But hotel internet isn't great. But what we do have, more importantly, with us is we have two very special guests, and I mean that in the normal way, not the like subtle insult way. We have ladies first. We have Skybilz.
Hey guys, what's up?
There you go. And then we have ladies second, authorblues.
I thought you were going to pass up on the opportunity for that joke, but
nope.
You took it anyway. I like
it. Don't put it past Flick.
It's the first time I've ever used it. I was proud of myself.
Okay, no, run with it.
There you go. Authorblues, Skybilz, and Gil hosting with us. It's we're going to be doing Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, a co-op game. Is that our first co-op game? It's not, because we've done Contra, haven't we? So, no,
yeah,
it's
technically speaking, no, but
no. But first of all, we have to do recaps, and recaps as we do start with a co-host first / real host. So Gildersleeve, what have you been up to?
What
in this
have I
week?
been up to? I have been.
Halloween's happened, but we don't want to hear about your exciting experiences dressing up as a skeleton in a graveyard with a shovel.
Look, I mean, just because I decided to take some footage of myself kicking it right up there and just flap it all over the stream doesn't mean that we need to hear about me dancing like this. But I'm an excellent dancer with a shovel. She's beautiful. At any rate, no, I've been working on trials a bit more. Managed to improve one of my ILs to 7th place overall on the PC version, so I'm pretty proud of that one. Still trying to push down to 1st place, but, you know, that'll take a while because some of those guys are fucking insane. But planning to get back to Demon Head as well. I want to get that sub 20. That's kind of the big goal for it, but it's going to take some time. I don't know. Other than that, just been busy working on stuff for AGDQ, all that sort of stuff. So kind of a average week, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, I have been. I played Bayonetta 2, which was, I guess, somewhat speedrun news related, and it was great, really great. Still cool. Okay. So that's my review of the game, if anybody was wondering. But more importantly,
that took a second to sink in there.
Right. Yeah.
A little slow on the uptake today.
More importantly, I've been working on trying to let America let me back in the country So I actually have an interview next week to decide if I'm a criminal or not, and I'm looking forward to finding out the results of that one. I personally am not sure if I am or not.
Look, you just need to stand on an airplane and shout, "I am not a crook," and you're good.
I have to throw out the 2 peace signs.
Yeah,
for
well,
that
duh.
one, right?
V for victory.
Yeah, sick reference to Reagan. No, Reagan.
No, Nixon.
What's the other? Nixon. Yeah, they're all
Haru.
they're all presidents, aren't they? They're all the same.
Yeah, you've seen one president, you've seen them all, Mayan.
You've seen them all, right? You know, they're all called Robert or Richard or something, and crazy. Aside from that, I don't think I've done anything else. I had a look at the DreamHack schedule.
Whatsoever.
The DreamHack schedule for that coming out. I had a look at that, and I gave it my blessing in some areas and not in others.
The areas he blessed caught fire.
But yeah, that's DreamHack. That's 3 weeks today, actually. Is it 3 weeks today? That seems not right, but it must be. No, it's not. It's 4 weeks today. Yeah, it's 4 weeks today.
There we go.
But yeah, so I did those things. So yeah, cool. Good job, me.
Well, what about our lovely guests?
Yeah, Skybilz, what have you been up to this past week-ish in speedrunning terms?
I have been watching Zaki Drage do Low G-Man, so I started to work on Low G-Man, and then I got to the first boss stage, and the flashcard decided to freeze. So I was really good at the first 2 stages, and that's about it. So we had to order a cartridge of that midweek. Still waiting on that. We worked on Lord of the Rings, and greatly improved that. We still have a little bit of room to go there, but we're really happy with our time so far. A bit of Super Mario World practice because I speedrun that quite a bit, and somebody donated Super Mario 3D World to us, and Auth and I have been learning that co-op as well, so we're going to see if that's a plausible option.
Are you stealing his recap?
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not my own entity.
That's Low Gangster Man, right?
Author
if I understand what the G stands for.
Good lord.
So anyways, though, Paradox 413 donated the disc to us, and we've been having fun with that. So yeah, pretty awesome week overall, I'd say.
Okay, cool. authorblues, have you got anything to add to that? Are there any secrets you've kept that you can unveil now?
I've hidden them. I will now reveal them. No, I've been derusting Flintstones 2 for most of the week to get ready for Best of the NES. And that went about as well as I should have expected for a game that I haven't played in 6 months. I've been working on Super Mario World because that's kind of my thing. Lord of the Rings.
Too.
Lord of the Rings is pretty chill. Lots of fun.
Yeah.
I've been doing most of the things that Sky already stole from me. I don't know, man. Mostly just been having a good time.
A good time. That's good to hear.
Taking names on them world records.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Which SMW do you do category-wise? 96.
I mostly
95,
run
no
96.
cape.
I mostly do 96 and 95. I run all categories except for any % because that's a garbage category for garbage people.
All Yoshi coins you do?
No, not yet. I'm getting there eventually. But
cape,
right now,
no cape, no Star World. All Switch palaces.
Man, you're just you're running the list down, man.
Yeah,
I got nothing. Between Sky and you, I don't even have to have a recap.
No, well, that's what we're here for. We're quality control. Think of it that way.
The quality is definitely under control.
Interesting enough. Step here. No, okay. It's all right.
Quality out of control.
96 and 95.
Vamp!
Hop it up, cut to camera 3. So yeah, you've been having fun. Did you have a fun Halloween, every American? You guys,
every Americans.
We cover all the demographics with you 3, I think. So.
Oh yes, quite.
I almost hit a bunny girl in my car, which was interesting because it's very easy in England to forget that it's Halloween. So when a bunny girl stepped in front of the road, I thought something weird was going on.
What happened? I ran over a rabbit.
I was just like, wait, huh? Why is there a bunny girl in the road? This is not normal. And then it was when the dude with a pumpkin on his head stepped into the road after her is when I realized that it might be Halloween. But you never know around these parts. But hey, speaking of Halloween and bunny girls.
What? This is going to be the most reaching segue I have ever heard in my life.
Dude, this is reaching so far that it should be a social council worker. It's Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Very well.
I'll take it. Sure.
Go for it.
Sure, why
I
not?
like that analogy at least. Hey, guys, tell us, what is Lord of the Rings, Return of the King? Let's go. I'd like to hear about it. I've never heard of the movie book or anything.
The movie book?
So, the movie book. So share this with us, please.
Well, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, the movie, the game, based on the novel Pushed by Sapphire, is it's a hack and slash real time RPG set in North Carolina.
Real time.
Oh yeah, man.
It takes like 4 months to finish.
Well, it takes the 6 months you have to ride across the Middle Earth to get to Mordor. Right, we're still working on the run.
Okay. Yeah.
It takes time. But it's hack and slash for GameCube, PS2, and Xbox, and a bunch of other consoles. You know, all of those consoles.
Yeah, all of them.
All of them. Hack and slash. There's 12 stages. Each of the missions you can do solo or co-op. We're doing the co-op route. There's 3 storylines that go at the same time. It kind of follows the path of the movie. So there's 3 storylines that are happening simultaneously: the path of the king, the path of the wizard, and the path of the hobbits. And when you're playing solo, you can kind of do them in any order you want to, but co-op dictates a route for you. And so that's kind of at a high level what the game is. It's really just your typical hack and slash, like
third-person action.
Yeah, pre-Dynasty Warriors, back before every enemy had 1 hit point and there were 100 of them.
It's not actually pre-Dynasty Warriors.
Well, okay.
But it's surprisingly good.
Sure.
I'll share that with you.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So, yeah, it's a movie tie-in game that doesn't suck really hard. So
which is rare for movie tie-in games.
No kidding.
That is rare. Usually either the game and the mechanics suck, or the story and the graphics and the settings suck. So it's either the movie's fault or the developer's fault, or usually actually the publisher's fault for making them make it very quickly.
That's why I always laugh at people who are like, all classic games are amazing. I was like, did you play Hudson Hawk?
Well, that's the thing, is that for the most part, movie tie-in games, like retro movie tie-in games, aren't terrible, but there was like some changeover eventually where everyone decided that it was okay to spend like $10 for the total operating budget of the game design.
Yeah, pretty much.
As long as it was based on a movie.
A popular movie.
Right.
Yeah, very interestingly, on the tie-in topic, the new Korra game is the other way around, where all the tie-in part of it is shit, and the actual game is really good, so I don't know how that happened.
Right.
That's unusual. But hey,
rambling off
moving
topic.
on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we are indeed. So, tell us about the game in terms of speedrunning it. Like, I assume no one really had run it before you guys?
No, we really didn't have too much to work off of. A few YouTube videos with stuff, but our friend Uglier Goblin had kind of worked in accordance with us, and without him, definitely we wouldn't have discovered a lot of the things in this run. There's a lot of strategy involved. I've done solo and co-op, and let me tell you something, there's so many different skips with co-op and different kinds of boss skips and stuff that you do not get in solo mode. So, I mean, this game is as fast and it's faster in co-op than it is in solo by a long shot. And we'll get into that later, but...
That's cool, because too often the co-op mode is just like one person who knows how to run it and them dragging someone along with them.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's kind of, we started off doing co-op with Super Mario World 96 Exit co-op because Link, the world record holder.
Oh.
Yeah, and the route for that had actually already been made for us. So it was kind of a fun sort of way to take the fact that we both played Super Mario World and build upon it. And that game actually has a pretty decent co-op, but when we were looking for more games for co-op, the big problem is that it kind of seems like a cop-out to do a co-op speedrun if the co-op doesn't in some way like improve upon the game. Like if your time ends
Yeah.
up being slower just because you're playing co-op, it doesn't really
Yeah.
seem worthwhile to even invest the time in it.
Yeah.
So we were really hunting down games that really seemed to be able to provide a little more on the co-op side, and we found a few over time. This one actually, it kind of fell upon us that it turned out that way because we were hunting down co-op games, and Sky said, what games I really liked were the Lord of the Rings games. So we bought all 3 of the movie games. The third one
Well, that
actually,
must have set you back singles of dollars.
it was almost tens. Okay,
Tens. Oh my gosh.
let us not joke about this.
Whoa.
The eBay economy is insane these days.
Speedrunning only for the 1%.
Exactly. So we bought all 3 of them. We thought that the second game had a co-op mode as well.
It doesn't, yeah.
It doesn't, which was really disappointing to find out. But the third one did. So we've only really played that one so far, because we bought them mostly for the solo or for the co-op. We actually only bought all 3 because I felt silly buying the second and the third one. I was like, I feel morally obligated to buy the
That's
first one.
capitalist America's got its
I know.
hooks on you there.
I know. I couldn't help it.
I mean, for an extra $3, we can just buy the other 2.
Exactly. But there were no previous runs to ours. There were some videos of people who had done some co-op Let's Plays of the game, which it's funny how that actually sometimes provides some insight because you have enough people fumbling through a game, you can see some things that you didn't expect to see. And there was actually one guy who found a weird bug in the game, who documented on YouTube like 3 years ago. Thankful for us because it turned out to be super helpful for the speedrun. So there was some material out there, but there were no speedruns previously. It was just kind of a random grab for a co-op side project.
Fair enough. Yeah, I had a similar thing with PJ where we desperately looked through the Xbox 360 library for online co-op speedrun games, and it takes a long time, and you often don't come up with much. It's quite horrifying how bad it is. But all right, so now there wasn't a speedrun scene, but there now is. You've set down a long-lasting dynasty, a legacy, if you will, has been laid down. So we have 2 categories, co-op and solo, which pretty straightforward. What are the times, and if you could say a little bit about each, if there's anything to really add.
Well, the main thing is that there are difficulty modes, but they don't change things appreciably in order to call them different categories. We play on easy, so we call it any % easy co-op. We had full intention of doing a hard mode. That didn't really work out just because the game turned out to be pretty much no different. And it was kind of...
Is it just more health enemies and you take more damage, or...?
All of the health drops were already on the floor, exact the same places they already were. All the enemies were dropping health all the same. There were the same number of enemies. They had pretty much the same amount of health. The only difference is every now and then if they hit you, they'd knock you over more often, or they maybe took 1 extra hit if it was like a boss. So we both got about 3 minutes through the run, and we were like, let's go back to easy and have fun again. Sky can talk more about solo, though, because she's the only one who's actually done a run of it.
Solo mode is extremely difficult. It involves a ton of multitasking. You can't, as is shown here, you can't do the glitching with the character rotation wheel, so you're pretty much stuck with what you have, which is horrible when it comes to the Path of the Hobbits because they're so weak. So, you're basically given what you're given in solo mode, and you have to deal with it. And there's just so many different places where you're supposed to be doing like 3 things at once on solo, and guess what? If you're not good at multitasking, you're going to take an auto death, like, easily.
Yeah, they don't seem to have a whole host of options as the characters, right? It's 2 buttons to attack, and there's not a whole... Is it 2 and there's like not a ton of combos, really? Or
Actually,
you don't start with much,
a
right?
ton of combos, and you buy them as you level
Yeah,
up.
right.
I guess a Devil May Cry style.
Yeah, but there's a few buttons. I mean, there's a parry button, a quick attack button, a killing move button, a fierce attack button, a kick button.
Best button.
So, yeah.
I might be just confusing it with the fact that when I played 2 Towers, I picked Gimli and spammed 1 button, so I might just be slightly misremembering.
But to say a little more about solo, there's some serious problems with running solo in that I guess it was a really good design choice on their side to make the camera operate differently, like entirely differently between solo and co-op. Because
I was going to ask about that actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the solo camera is a cinematic camera, like it glides around and follows you as you're going, which is great. It makes the game feel really fluid and cool, but the problem is that it's never at an advantageous position. And there's a lot of stages in which like there's a lot of explosions happening, and wouldn't you know it, they decided that the best place to put the camera was on either side of, or was to put the camera so that you have to see yourself and everything you're doing through these explosions.
Mm-hmm.
Which, for stages where that's happening frequently, means you pretty much never get to see yourself. You're just operating off of sound.
Oh, that's real fun.
Wow.
Well, the camera is the worst enemy in the game. By far, I say that repeatedly.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you saying for a PS2 generation game, the
Yeah.
cameras are not
3D.
But
We
that
have
being
been-
said, the co-op camera is way nicer. It
Ah.
it kind of jumps from position to position so that you're not having to constantly readjust your angle on the control stick, and it's generally friendly enough to always place itself in a position that's good for both players.
That was my next question, was that, does the camera in solo mode, does it actually, like, does your directional input shift based on which way it's facing, or does it do the thing where it's like, as long as you were holding this previous direction...
It's exactly that. As long as you don't change your angle on the control stick, even if the camera completely changes angle, you'll continue running that direction until you adjust the angle.
Oh,
At least they
that's
had
cool.
that feature.
Right.
Yeah.
When they
There's
added that to
some
games back
have
then,
that,
it was,
Yeah.
some games it just switches and it's like...
I remember there's a door in Devil May Cry where once you get past a certain point, it resets your run direction.
Mm-hmm.
So
You end
very
up running
often you'll
backward
see
again.
people running out the door and then just as they're about to leave, turn around and run back because the camera switched.
Yep. Yeah, it's good that game developers finally realized, hey, that's a real asshole way to control your character.
And it's crazy that it was Lord of the Rings.
There's a lot of places. There's a lot of places in the first few stages, because you're running through caves, where the camera will be behind you as you go down a cave, and then it'll flip sides, and you'll be running toward the camera. And so, if it didn't have that feature, you pretty much just like flicker back and forth.
Stupidly
if you
disorienting
help.
as well.
Right.
Right,
Yeah,
now,
especially if it's at that exact angle where you turn around and then the camera angle changes back again.
Right.
And
does it
you
keep
just
a
stuck.
particular in co-op mode? Does it keep a particular character centered, or does it just
seems to
it's
have
just
player
cinematic?
two
Yeah, that's what I was
happily is
seeing.
the
Was like
center,
player
yeah.
2 seems to be largely the
focus.
center focus, but
It's
every now and
weird.
again it shifts away.
I've never been able to figure it out. Maybe Sky has more insight to it, but like sometimes it'll seem to favor her, and we when we're doing runs, I don't know, I'm sure this is a term that everyone who's ever run one of these era games has referred to, but like got camera'd. Like anytime that the camera moves into a position where like one player pretty much gets killed off because the other player moved the camera into a bad position. And if we could just figure out how the camera
it does,
decides who to follow, that'd be great. But it never seems clear. Like it doesn't split the difference between us. And it doesn't always stay on me. And it doesn't always stay on player 2.
Well, it just
Like
it reminds me of I played Fable 2 co-op a while ago, like when it came out or whatever. And the way that worked was the main, whoever joined the story was just there, and the camera on their screen as well. Like,
often the case.
yeah, well, no, but I mean, it's like on their screen as well. Your player character, like player 1 or whoever was the host, was the focus character. So they always saw your perspective and just saw themselves kind of running around out in the distance wherever the fuck they were going. And you could completely juke them by like turning the camera around to where they couldn't be seen.
There are games like that, and there are
It
some
was
that I like even better
atrocious,
where
and I'm kind of glad to hear that this
the
one doesn't
game-
do that.
the game doesn't even notice there's another player, really,
It's
and the
basically the
story
case.
especially doesn't. Is always find it entertaining. But
Well,
yeah,
The thing about co-op mode is you're having a conversation with the other person throughout. You have to be vocal at all times. Like if we need to move the camera somewhere, both people have to be paying attention. Otherwise, you could end up killing and failing the entire mission. I'll give you an example. The last mission, Sirathungal, well, second to last. The last one's a boss battle. But in Sirathungal, the first time Auth and I died there, we were both hobbits at the time because we didn't know about the glitch. I believe one of us went into cloaked mode and the bridge just collapsed under the other person because the one person was lagging behind, and that was it. Like if one person dies, both people die. So I'm just remember looking it off because the death was so quick, and I'm like, what just happened there? It's just, yeah.
So
one of
just a quick question before we go into techniques.
Yeah.
As a person who's also run co-op games, can you confirm that the backbone of a good co-op speedrun is yelling at each other?
Yes.
I don't think so. I disagree there.
I just need confirmation of that.
If
that,
you're not
like-
angry at the other person, then you're
Yeah.
probably not ahead of your splits.
Okay, good. I just
So we
wanted
encourage all of you to run co-op with a good friend, folks.
a good temporary a friend that can, if you want to test your relationship with a person.
That's a good
run
way
a
to put
co-op
it.
game with-
Yeah.
There's pretty much two ways a co-op speedrun goes. You're either in an argument after it, or you have just had the best time of your life.
Yeah. And then one of you forgot to record the demo, freeze it. Okay, I'm not bitter.
So hope for the
fine.
latter, prepare for the former, is what you're saying.
So anyway, hey, let's talk a few more specifics then as far as general techniques go.
Sure.
One thing we should have very clearly, all of you playing along at home, I hope you've noted this one down in your exercise books. Back hopping through mist. I think we've all seen you jumping backwards through the mist.
Just a couple of times at least.
Yeah. Can if you could say a little bit about that. I'm assuming it makes you move quicker.
That actually is the source of our resets most of the time, and I'm really happy it's the first two stages. When you walk through the mist, you walk at this super slow speed, and this is actually one of the few times we utilize the back step. Now, on the GameCube controller, the back step is on that awkward little D-pad on the left-hand side. Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
That's my point. So
Oh,
it's the down on that, and it's just you have to hold your controller in this weird contorted way in order to backstep through the mist, and it's just half the time we either end up cameraing each other or we're just not in sync, and we have to reset because it's too slow. So I mean,
I've
Yeah,
always wanted to know who invented that stupid little D-pad because it's so fucking useless.
Yeah,
I just
Anyway,
like to-
going on, please.
I was just going to suggest them. Why don't you try one of the other versions? And then I realized it's unlikely that the PS2 one loads quicker, and the Xbox D-pad's just as bad. So
The original Xbox wasn't bad, but yeah, if it was a 360
Oh.
D-pad, useless.
Yeah, the
Xbox,
backstepping
the
is meant
original
to be-
D-pad, you haven't used in a while. It's terrible.
The backstepping feature is supposed to be a combat thing. It's supposed to be, you're fighting up against an enemy and then you want to step really quickly back away from the action. It doesn't have a limitation on its speed. Like, it's not hindered by anything that affects your speed. So when you're walking through the mist, you walk at this really slow rate, but the backstep is completely unaffected by it. So unfortunately, it creates this really complicated action of having to angle your character away from the direction you want to go, and sometimes you're snaking through these paths that have the mist. It took us a little bit of practice, not only to be able to do it well on our own, but to be able to do it well in coordination with one another. Because you kind
So
of
it's
have
like
to do it
reversing
side
a
by
car, I guess. Then
Yeah.
you got to flip around. All right.
yeah.
Is it?
It's
I'm
not-
guessing
it's not
it's not
hard, it's
faster than
just-
running then either.
No, in general, it's definitely not faster than running.
Okay.
And we prioritize picking characters that have incredibly fast run speed, sometimes to the loss of all else. But the backstep is definitely not faster in just a general movement sense, because you come to a full stop every time you get done with a backstep. So
Yeah. All right. We have perfect booster. Now, I'm not actually familiar with this perfect mechanic. I don't remember this being in the second game at all, but if you could explain what this mechanic is and what perfect boosting and so on is, that would be
What it is and
it's
what it
next on our
do.
list. Yeah. In better grammar,
Shut
what
it.
he said.
Well, the general idea is that the game kind of grades you on how well you're doing. If you are killing enemies without taking any damage, you go from a fair rating to a good rating to an excellent rating, finally to a perfect rating. And if you're doing well enough at killing enemies, you can naturally just get to perfect mode, which is great because when you're in perfect mode, most small enemies you can kill in one hit.
Oh, okay, so damage boost for like performance, basically.
Oh,
Or not
well,
damage, not a damage boost, but damage increase.
It's
I
a
suppose.
power boost.
Right.
Yeah, power
Right.
boost. There you go.
And the nice thing is that the main characters that we choose from, Gimli, Aragorn, Legolas, Faramir, those sorts of characters, their special ability is they can go into this sort of like rage mode for a moment, where your rating meter increases very fast. So you don't have to really do that well. It just gives you a perfect rating kind of quickly out of the gate, and it has a cooldown on it. And so if you are smart about when you kind of release that, you can get perfect mode right as you're going into a giant group of enemies and just tear through them like butter.
Oh, excellent.
Pretty handy.
That's good. I kind of like games like that where you actually have to be technically good at the game as well. You can't just kind of,
like
let me skip on through this.
Yeah, the longer the combo, the more damage you do in that. Otherwise, it often ends up that you just spam one move and...
Yeah. But, I mean, it just also increases the skill ceiling, so it's just a lot of fun.
Well,
Adds
it's not
more
just
flow.
for skill too. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, please.
Yeah, no, you're the guest. You talk.
It's not just for skill purposes either, though. At the end of every stage, we have to spend experience points on obtaining certain things. And actually, in the first stage, it's really critical that one of us gets their bow or their arrow upgrade up to level 3. And you can only do that if you time those perfect boosters correctly and get enough points. So, I mean, that results in a reset too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to do with that. That's
Oh yeah.
it's actually neat.
We're getting more intricate as we go.
Indeed. So
I see the action RPG aspects of this hack and slash game coming in. All right.
I hear Gandalf
Matt,
feels that you're invading his personal space, so why don't you tell us about his bubble?
his personal bubble, which isn't magic, right?
No, not magic. But yeah.
I'm typically the one that plays Gandalf, and I take over in the Path of the Wizard. Gandalf's bubble is actually one of the most critical components of the second half of the game, because what happens is he uses the bubble just like how the Enrage booster works. You tap LNR, and he can run through just hordes and get almost an immediate perfect mode. The problem with this is you have to communicate with your partner as to when you're going to do it, because it takes a good 3 to 5 seconds to get the full bubble off. If you're hit, you have to begin those 3 to 5 seconds again. So that takes some time, and your partner's got to cover you while you're doing that.
Yeah, the bubble is sort of like a moving area of effect. So like once you're surrounded by the bubble, just touching an enemy pretty much kills it, and it does enough damage in larger groups of enemies that you can get perfect almost immediately. We use it. The typical way you would use it is to pick up experience or to knock down hordes of enemies, but we typically use it to just run by guys. There's a lot of stages where if you time when to use the bubble properly, if there's like a big wave of enemies that's preventing you from progressing, you can pretty much just, I can let Gandalf do the bubble, and I can run behind Gandalf, and we're just like moving them aside.
Okay.
Sorry, there was just one more thing I wanted to add about the bubble. This is actually a really major skip in the Escape from Osgiliath stage, and what happens is it's kind of an escort quest. I have to escort Pippin through that stage. So I have to enable my bubble at the right time so we can get through rooms really quickly, because if Pippin gets held up by guys, that's going to take a while to break him free.
Yeah, he's paper thin.
So just a question I had, because I was watching that bit. Do you feed one character the perfect stuff to get them more levels, or do you guys stay mostly even the whole game? It looked like someone got a lot more perfects than the other. I don't want to necessarily call out someone if they did badly, but I'm just wondering.
Toward the beginning of the game, I actually sacrificed, because we could just as easily take perfect mode at the same time and fight for kills. But it's much easier if I let, for instance, in this case, like in the first stage, let Sky take all of the kills in order to get her to level 3. Because actually leveling up doesn't really affect you all that much on its own. It's really the ability to it's the ability to buy some of the upgrades that you get. So me waiting longer to level up doesn't really matter. I'll just feed enemies to Sky in this case.
All right.
Okay.
I really do like how co-op-y this game is, actually. There's like
the
speedrun is actually really kind of nice.
I like these full motion video cutscenes.
Look, you. That's not what we're discussing.
Yeah, you don't like them the first time you play it, I assure you.
No, it's...
once you start speedrunning it, you love the potty breaks though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I just like the idea of someone like coming into your stream and screenshotting it and telling Twitch you've been streaming movies, and then like
rude. Why are you giving people ideas, Flicky?
That was our first conversation. It was like, are we allowed to stream this game? It's pretty much the movie.
Yeah.
Check the new Twitch rules, man. You got to look them up.
Yeah.
Thinking of those, I had a question if you could have a picture of yourself shirtless in the background of your stream.
Ooh, that's a tough call.
Flicky.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if you said like it's always there, you know. I always have a shirtless picture of me framed in the background.
Flicky, it's time to talk about optimized combat.
It is. It's time to talk about optimized combat. I just get distracted by myself sometimes.
I'm aware.
Now, tell us all about this. Sky, you can talk to us about this unless you feel less qualified to.
Well, it's okay. What do about the combat system or?
Yes.
Yeah, optimized
just,
combat
it
was
says
the next technique.
optimized combat.
Okay, so one of the main objectives, especially in the stage that's shown right now, you want to get to perfect mode as soon as possible, but it depends on like the priority of the stage as well. In this case, we just want to kill as many guys as possible because notice there's like a 32 out of 60 at the top of there, and once we kill 60 guys, we can proceed on. So it all depends upon the objective of the stage, and that'll dictate what our quality of our kills is. But for the actual combat system, if the guy has a shield, you have to shield break, and typically one of us is on shield breaking duty, so the other one can kill the other guy quicker. And then the guys with the health bars or the guys with more armor, you also have to use a fierce attack, which is why. And then after that, it all depends on, do we need arrows? Does the other person need health? Like, you have to not only watch what's around you, you got to communicate with your partner. Okay, your health's low. Let me take down this health bar guy for you. There's a red or a green health over there. There's an arrow over there. I mean, those are all really useful things to know when going into combat.
Okay, so one of you sort of gets designated a few jobs and the other is on like slightly different duty. With the perfect meter, are there moves that boost it more than others that you have to try and use to get to the perfect boost, or is it just generally killing things? Like, what exactly increases the meter?
Well, killing more guys faster will build up your experience a lot faster. You can purchase upgrades, or you can purchase combos through the upgrades, and the combos will increase your meter a lot faster as well. So there's combos that tap AAY and you'll do this amazing attack, and it'll put these words on the screen. It'll say "or cure, great job," and then it'll give you like half of your meter already filled, and it's totally gimmicky, but I love it.
Yeah. Well, you can't complain with that.
No.
Right, but I think what Flicky was asking though is, are there certain moves that increase the perfect meter faster than others, or is it just a?
Yeah, and that's the general idea. Is that
okay,
the combos
so I thought
do
it was
increase a little bit
experience
faster.
With what you said.
When you get your ratings higher, you do get more experience for your kills, which is a great bonus. There's also a lot more to combat. Like when we first started speedrunning the game, we were sort of in like one track mindset where it was just like, yeah, exactly. And we were losing pretty much every one of our runs all the way across. Just every single time we would just mash A the whole time, and we'd die over and over. And we were like, is this game even speedrunnable? Are we going to have to like farm experience so that we're a high enough level to beat these stages? And after a while, we realized that this is not the sort of game that you can just wail on
tank
the
your
A
way
button.
through. Yeah.
Right. There's the combat system's actually a little more nuanced. I mean, I'm not going to try to make it sound like it's fucking Rubik's Cube or anything, but it's a little more nuanced. You have quick attacks, you have fierce attacks. When you get overwhelmed by enemies, you pretty much, if you're trying to swing your sword, you're not going to get anywhere with it. Your best bet is to start parrying enemies, because if you parry them, not only do you not take damage, but they'll kind of get a little bit knocked
dizzy.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it gives you a chance to kind of get your feet better and start wailing back on them. So it's a little more than just mash buttons. You have to play a little more with your brain than you would expect for a typical hack and slash.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, that's definitely good. Like, nothing worse than like a 3D hack and slash with a really bad combat system.
Right.
Which is most of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
I'm amazed this doesn't have one. Does it have one really abusable move that you just use all the time? Because that's another very common thing.
Quick attack.
Quick attack. Yeah, pulling the bow and arrow all the way back tends to do a ton of damage for whatever reason.
Yeah, there's some combos that do a large amount of damage. If you can knock an enemy to the ground, which is pretty easy in large groups, because if you're just wailing through enemies, a lot of them are going to get knocked over easily anyway. If an enemy's on the ground, there's a killing move button that basically just you drop your sword on them, and that's it for them. So there's different ways to deal with large groups. There are some attacks that do more damage than others. It's kind of tough to like balance it out though, because the problem is that your fierce attack does a lot more damage than your quick attack, and so you're like, okay, I'm just gonna mash fierce attack button instead. That makes sense. But your fierce attack, you hold your sword in the air for like forever, and then you just start getting
Its
hit all the
attacks are
time.
often
and-
very, very slow.
yeah, so I mean, I don't know. At
That's
this point, I
good,
feel
at
like I'm
least.
vastly overselling the nuances of the combat system, but it's definitely not the sort of game that you can just like smash your face into the controller for long enough and kill enemies.
Concept of that is pretty amusing, but
Yeah. That's good that a lot of these games, especially the more rushed one or the shorter ones, there's one move, and if you're not using that at all times, you're
Right.
trying
Yeah,
to
you're-
get
what are
yourself
you
to
doing?
use that move at all times. Wow, that animation on that guy, that was not mocapped, I can tell you that much. All right, now you have a thing here. You were going to go through the little the stages, sort of not in real time, but a little bit about them, and then here we'll get to hear a bit about your character choices too, which is something I'm kind of interested in. You guys obviously still up for this, but if we could start off from yeah, hang on, that was everything, wasn't it? Oh no, sorry, I missed the glitch. You have a glitch to talk about.
Yeah, so there's
this
like
is the character wonky
there's like
thing.
yeah, there's like one big glitch in the game, and it kind of makes this game super duper speedrunnable.
see if I can find it real quick so I can pull it up for you.
Yeah, the big thing in it is that most stages are locked what characters you can choose. Like the first 4 stages, you can only pick Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, or nope, just Aragorn, Legolas, or Gimli. And in the Path of the Wizard, you can only pick those 3 plus Gandalf. And in the Path of the Hobbits, you can only pick the Hobbits. But there's only in co-op, there's a way that you can manipulate the character selection, so you can actually choose any characters you want with certain caveats. And we actually use that to take the characters that we've leveled up toward the beginning of the game into the late game, which just makes it a cakewalk. So to explain in general what happens, the character select screen is a wheel that goes around that you pick the characters on, and it has the 3D model above the names. And the general idea is that if you hit a direction on the control stick to turn the wheel, at the same time, within a very small frame window of when you hit the A button to select the character, you actually disrupt the connection between the names under the characters and the characters themselves. And so what happens is the character that you're selecting is actually the name that's at the bottom of the screen, but whether or not the game considers the character to be locked is based on the character model above the name. So if you can rotate the names around, like what's on the screen right now, you'll see that like underneath Sam is the name Gandalf. And what we're doing there is we're moving the name across over and over so that in this stage, for instance, we can pick Aragorn and Gandalf. The one caveat that's in this trick is that since the character models decide which characters are locked, if you only have like 2 characters that are available to you and they're like on opposite sides of the wheel, you have to rotate the wheel in such a way that you're picking 2 characters that are the same distance apart on the wheel. So like Gandalf and Gimli are right next to each other, but you couldn't pick both of those if you had a stage where it was like Mary and Sam because they're too far apart from each other on the character wheel. And it's a neat trick because you can take characters that were never intended into a stage. Like in this case, we take super high level characters into Shelob's Lair, which the real danger in that stage is that you get overwhelmed by enemies at like level 2. And now we're taking like level 8 characters in there and just brushing them to the side lightly.
Get out of here, Spider.
Well, it really accelerates the boss fight in this particular stage because we'd have to go through every tiny spider phase, and that would just take minutes, whereas now all we have to do is just wail on Shelob the whole time, and it's no hazard whatsoever.
Yeah, so when we go through the missions really quickly, we'll talk about whether or not we have to do any character rotations. The big thing about the trick is that, like, sometimes you want to do it just for safety, but it's not free. Like, every time you rotate the wheel one time, even if you do it perfectly, which is not easy, it costs you at least like 6 to 8 seconds for each rotation. So if you're doing a stage where you need to rotate the wheel 4 times to get characters you like, you've just cost yourself 30 seconds. You need to guarantee that you're going to get those 30
Yeah, the
seconds
trade-off
back.
has to make... Yeah, I can see exactly what you're getting at. So cool. All right, well, shall we go through the stages then?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yep.
I'm going to have to... We had to get the FLV chunks from Twitch for this one, so it's going to start with some, like, failed runs, but let me try and get over to the actual starting run there.
Right.
There we go.
I think it's like 23 minutes in or something.
Yeah, it's 23:41, so this should be right about now. Okay, so yeah, we're at the first stage.
All right, well, I'll let Sky talk about the first few ones because she does most of the work in them anyway.
Thanks. Remember, this is both of us here. Okay.
She almost sounded offended that you said that. Like, I've never
I
heard
know.
someone get offended that, oh, they do the work. It's,
Well, there's
as
an
if.
example of cameraing right there if you just saw that.
Yeah, hang tight. It'll come back. I just like got it to the start of the actual run, so yeah,
No,
go
that's
for it.
okay. An anti-example is always a good thing too. So the first stage, it's primarily the backstepping through the mist, which again is something I really dislike because we have to be exactly in sync, and again, we end up either cameraing and killing each other or just making the run slower. And we need to accelerate 2 levels for one person instead of just one, which is really tricky. I'm typically the one who accelerates both levels because I'm the archer out of the 2 of us. So that means that almost every single kill I get in this stage has to be in perfect mode. Otherwise, we're never going to get the 2 levels. And that means I also have to snipe kills off of Auth right towards the end. And I remember the first couple times we did this, he's like, why are you shooting my guys at the end? I'm like, I have to have these points. And, at first it was kind of like a competition almost, but then we kind of saw that it kind of worked out to our advantage. The characters for this stage are Faramir and Aragorn, and actually the reason why we needed this particular video is this was the first run where we used Faramir, because Faramir and Aragorn both run equally at the same speed, unlike where I used Legolas for a while, but Legolas is super slow and his backsteps are horrible, so that was costing us time, and we figured out to use Faramir, it saved 24 seconds just to have him running. Yeah, it was really remarkable.
Odd because Legolas is supposed to be an
he's
elf
meant to be
and
light
all.
on his feet. And
That's what everyone always says. Aragorn's job is to run across long expanses. Though.
This is also true. This is also true.
But yeah, we rotate it out. Faramir is one of the secret characters that's supposed to not even be unlocked until you've beaten the game, but he is on the wheel.
I don't even remember who that is.
Yeah, he only exists on the wheel because he's technically part of the Fellowship, and they included all the characters. All the ones that don't actually appear in the game or the missions, they get unlocked once you've beaten the game. But since he's on the wheel, we can pick him as long as we rotate out for him. So we switched to Faramir and Aragorn at the beginning. It took us a lot to figure out whether or not that's what we wanted to do, because the second stage we really like having really great arrows, which Legolas does. But Faramir seems to have a bit stronger arrows than Aragorn anyway, so we figured just being able to run super fast kind of paid for it on its own.
Right on. Anything else about stage 1?
I mean, we run by pretty much everything. Like we fight the enemies we have to fight. There's a lot of the things in this game. Whenever there's a stage you have to run long distances across, they'll stop you at certain points. And it's like kill these enemies before you can progress. So we mostly just kill the enemies we have to, and we do our very best to get the experience we need off of that versus farming every single enemy in the stage.
Right on. I feel bad for not having a sweet Space Ghost Coast to Coast soundbite about King Dead right here, but let's talk about King of the Dead, stage 2.
Do you want me to discuss this one off? I mean, you're the one who kind of has to handle the nuances of the king.
Well,
so why don't you?
I mean, he's trying to be polite about it, but you do most of the work, and I know you didn't want to hear that.
Come on, pal.
Well, so this stage is a fight and then a run through the caves. It's 2 parts, and the fight is really the interesting part here because in all sorts of different combinations of characters and different ways of playing, we've managed to kill him in all sorts of different amounts of time, but there doesn't seem to be like a consistent thing that we've figured out yet that determines exactly how long the fight will take. It sounds weird to say because I consider that we've optimized this stage fairly well, but the problem is that every time the boss takes a certain amount of health damage, he'll like go into the ground and come back somewhere else and fight you some more. We've killed him in 3 cycles one time, and we've been trying to figure out how to get that to happen again. The weird thing is that it definitely seems like there's a huge RNG element to bosses in this game where like it seems sometimes that the amount of time he stays out and willing to take damage is on a timer rather than on how much damage he takes. And there have been a few times where we didn't think we were doing very well, but what ended up happening was he stuck around for a lot longer and gave us more opportunity to do some damage. And so one time we beat him in 3 cycles. Typically we beat him in 4. When we first started speedrunning this, it was 5 or 6 cycles. So we've gotten it down to be pretty consistent down to 4, but the problem is that there just doesn't seem to be any sort of reproducible way, deterministic way to always get a 3 cycle. And so it's one of the 2 bosses in this game that really drive us nuts because we know it's possible, we've done it. It just doesn't seem like there's any way to reproduce it. And I hesitate to immediately argue that it's RNG rather than some failure on our part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to tell if they didn't just code a bunch of things that react to what you do, or there isn't some kind of calculation to it.
Just out of curiosity, for the sake of people learning the game kind of a little bit earlier in the 3 steps, is there a way to just replay stages, or do you actually have to go through the entire game again to get a chance to
Once you beat the game, you can re-enter any stage you want to.
So
the only real issue is that you'll be a lot higher level.
So you got OP characters.
So that can produce its own problems, but in general, you can re-enter any level you want to, which is great for, sometimes before we start doing any runs, we'll be like, hey, let's see if today's the day we can figure out how to 3 cycle this boss.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst thing that's happened in this stage, honestly. Like, we got it the one time, and we're like, oh, that's great. Maybe it's because I learned how to use the bow and arrow properly, and we still have yet to replicate that.
You just got lucky.
BS luck, yeah.
Worst thing you can do is, like, especially even worse is an example video where someone's like, this is the strat, and they get good RNG.
Yeah, right, exactly. Right. They did it in one take, and they're like, totally best strat.
Yeah, I've considered going back through our archives and finding the time that we've gotten the 3 cycle and highlighting it so I can study it. But at this point, like, we've done it a bunch of different ways, and I'm very much convinced that we're playing it at about the highest level we can. The biggest problem is that the times that he sticks around for longer are times that one of us gets knocked over, and he just seems so intent on paying attention to the dead person's body that he doesn't go away right away, which seems great. It's like, hey, he stuck around for longer, but he also stuck around for longer while one of us was doing absolutely nothing
0
but
damage,
being dead.
exactly.
So there doesn't seem to be like, so right now we're taking 4 cycles rather than 3, but there's no guarantee that the 3 cycle was faster than the 4 cycle because the 3 cycle involved like me spending a lot of time being pretty much dead.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you get like a 5? Like, is he ever just a massive dick and just won't go down in 4? Or
these days it's maybe once every 5 or 6 runs, maybe. Like that's
a pretty damn good ratio, really.
Yeah.
So it does vary then. So like he can go either way.
Sure, but the biggest problem is that, she takes on the archer duties and will try to focus on him from a distance, and I will focus on melee right in his face, but the problem is that he does so much damage that he just knocks me over. So if he does knock me over, which has a large RNG element and a large skill element both combined, if he does knock me over, then at that point it's like, well, we can continue, but there's no guarantee that it's fast enough.
But at this point, a majority of your damage is in the bow, right? Because you've leveled it up a bunch, or?
Well, this is the 2nd stage, so no matter what character we choose, we're pretty low level.
Right.
We've considered trying to pull in different characters. Like Gandalf starts off the game at level 1 already being sort of a tank, and we've considered playing around with that, but if we brought in Gandalf, then we wouldn't have the option to play as Aragorn in the stage because of the way the character rotations work, and Aragorn's already doing a ton of damage, so we'd basically be trading out one good character for another good character.
Yeah, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other at that point.
Yeah.
So.
And Aragorn definitely needs the levels.
Flicky, you did a fantastic Southern accent, so could you intro the next segment?
My Southern English accent is very good, thank you.
Yes,
I've been working on it for the past 24 years, so I'll stick with it now.
Is it okay if I say a couple words just about the second half of this level real quick?
Oh, yeah, please.
Go for it. Yeah, I thought we were done. That's all.
No, it's okay. This is one of the most dangerous levels of the entire run, even though it doesn't look like it, because, as I said earlier, the camera is our worst enemy. The camera causes instant deaths, and randomly in this stage. So again, good thing that this is stage 2. There have been many...
Well, I was just going to say, it's not so much random. The level is designed as it's like a cave collapsing on you. So anytime you spend too much time in one section, like rocks will fall and just kill your characters automatically. So, like she said, the camera is our worst enemy here, because if we're not playing like perfectly in sync, if one of us stays around in one area for just a moment too long, the rocks fall and that's it.
So that explains why you pick this stage set first.
Right. Well, if we don't have a choice, but
Okay,
if
so
we
it's a
did,
linear
this would
game. You don't
definitely
get to
be
hub level.
first
or
one.
I thought you could pick the 3 different
For
types.
solo,
of
you can,
Solo.
but for co-op,
okay,
it forces
okay,
you.
right.
Okay.
All right, okay then. Southern Gate then. Moving on. We're sticking with Faramir and Aragorn.
Okay, there's really not too much to Southern Gate. It's actually the shortest stage of the entire run. And the most important part of Southern Gate is in the first 10 seconds. Oth has to land that spear on that ogre as fast as possible because actually in the world record before this one, he missed the spear and we have to take that extra time to gun him down with arrows pretty much. So we take down the orc in the beginning and then all we have to do is run to the 3 trebuchets and take down the fort, which will open up a path for us to climb to the top. Then we have to take care of an elephant up there. One of us has to go into perfect mode and make sure we protect the other one as he's opening up the gates. And then it's just basically run, and that's it. Let me see if there's any tech. We use Faramir and Aragorn, and really just don't get knocked down. Like, that's really the tech of the stage, really.
Yeah, the premise of the stage is that we're just trying to get to the other side of this wall, and the door slams shut right as we're about to go by it, so we just got to get on top of the wall to open it up. The stage itself, if you weren't like speedrunning it, would probably take a while because you get overwhelmed by enemies on the ground quite easily, and we did in early runs spend a ton of time on the floor just trying to like mow through enemies to actually get anywhere. It took us a long time to just figure out, hey, if you just
Just haul ass.
If you just flank them,
Yeah.
they kind of miss you. But the idea is you just get to the top, you open the gate, and when you open the gate, like 10, 15 guys run out through the gate, and they're going to stop you, but you just pour hot lava on their head.
Well, that's always
whatever.
nice.
Yep.
I did that
Yeah,
last
as
week to a bunch of guys
As
chasing.
opposed to cold lava, I guess.
Yeah,
Shut it.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All
Yeah,
right,
but that's
so-
the thing is that there's these
Is it-
large enemies in the stage, like these giant ogres. But the game gives you these pikes that are hanging out throughout the stage, and they are a one-hit kill to pretty much anything. So instead of having to gun down these giant ogres in the first 5 seconds, the ogre appears, and if we're lucky enough to hit him with a spear before a whole bunch of other enemies come around, then
I
we can
enjoy
just
you
move on
getting
from it.
him trapped on this low wall as well that he can't get by. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Waist
is it-
high cover.
So it's not worth like grinding on enemies a bit to get levels up then?
Not
No.
really.
No.
At this point, the levels we get from naturally completing stages as well as possible, because not only does the game give you experience for killing enemies, especially if your rating is higher, but at the end of the stage, it looks at all of the kills you got, and it says you got 15 excellent kills, and you got 10 good kills, and 3 fair kills, and it gives you a rating for the whole stage, and you get bonus experience from that as well.
Right on.
So if you play the stage well enough, and a lot of times, like for instance in Southern Gate specifically, we're still trying to farm a little bit of extra experience for Sky's character because there's a boss coming up in the next stage. And what we actually do is she will kill large groups of enemies with perfect booster, but if there's just like one-off enemies that need to be killed, I'll kill them because they'll give me a fair rating, and that prevents her from getting weighed down by fair ratings, and she'll get the perfect bonus at the end of the stage. Like the game looks at her kills and notices that she got very few kills at a fair rating, and it gives her additional experience for doing particularly well.
Excellent. All right. So Pelennor
All right,
Fields.
Yeah, I was
What do
just
you
going to mention, much like the movies, we're running a bit long. So if there's any of these that
Yeah, we can skip
particularly
over
stick
quite a few
out?
movie
Yeah.
sections.
Yeah, like if there's any, like that one was a bit shorter than the others. So if there's any of these, whichever, 3 more or something that stick out,
Sure. Yeah,
let's
definitely.
let's roll with it.
Yeah, let's not hold this on too long. So Pelennor Fields, there's a boss. It's the other boss in the game that we have had one time that we had like a sick one cycle on the boss. He went down one time appearing, because what he does is the boss will appear. So the stage starts off kill 60 enemies, and then you have to kill this boss dragon. He will appear and he'll take some damage, and then when he feels like he's been wronged, he will leave for a little while and come back later, and you can wail on him again. We killed him in one cycle one time and have yet to figure out how it's possible to do that again.
Trying to find the dragon here. Hang on.
Yeah,
The easiest solution is to convince yourself it never happened.
that's I actually the other day didn't tell Sky, but I deleted the gold splits for both of those stages because I absolutely
Hey,
Surprise!
I absolutely refuse to run against splits that are so unattainable.
No, I absolutely agree with you. There's a
Just have one split at the end.
no. There's a potential 2-cycle kill on the first boss in Demon Head, and it's really based on his hitbox feeling like showing up at the proper times.
Right.
And it's like I've gotten a few of them, but we're talking 30 out of 3,500 attempts. So I just never saved that split ever.
All right, Sky, channel your outrage into talking about the next stage.
Do
I
it.
didn't get the memo off.
The stage to
Anyways,
Isengard. To Isengard.
I'm actually going to skip a few stages because the next
Yeah,
few
go for it.
stages, Isengard, Top of the Wall, Courtyard, those are like borderline auto-scrolly type stages. I mean, they have their nuances, but I'm actually going to forward to the Black Gate, which is one of the levels that involves the most communication between myself and
I'd just like to point out that Courtyard, one of its tech pieces is protect women. But yeah, you can move on to Blackgate.
About that. Anyways, I'll save that for post-discussion. But Blackgate. So what's going to happen here is that we take down a boss in the beginning. That's really not that bad. I use my bubble as Gandalf, and Oth distracts him, and I just go Leroy Jenkins on him with the bubble. Really not that bad. So when we get into the main part, there's 6 waves of guys coming in, and Oth and I need to communicate, hey, here comes a health bar guy, because once we defeat the 6th health bar guy, the ring race will come in. The problem is we have to protect Legolas and Gimli, from getting killed, because if Legolas or Gimli are killed, the mission's automatically failed.
Yeah.
And it's really easy for damage to stack on those two. So we have to go, hey, Oth, Gimli, we have to run over to Gimli, heal him, and then go back to what we're doing. But for the most part now, we have it down to we don't need to protect them as much because we use our devastating attacks and the bubbles in the front of the hordes to prevent them from even getting that far. So that's one new tech that we've done there. And at the end, Oth's on spear duty with the ring race, and then I just zap him with Gandalf's staff. So
I'm realizing now, describing these missions out of context, it's fantastic.
Question: do Legolas and Gimli actually fight any worth a damn, or is this pretty much an escort quest?
If 1 or 2 guys get to them, they'll kill them just fine. If they get overwhelmed by guys, they can die pretty effectively.
Okay.
The game was at least nice enough that if you stand close to them, they'll heal.
All right.
So, as long as you stick around to quote unquote protect them, it's pretty generous to you.
That's fair.
But at this point, we're at the point where we've optimized the stage down where enemies don't even make it onto the screen. We kill them before they even get in. So
that's even better.
So we usually don't have a problem with guys overwhelming us.
I'd just like to. Oh.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just to congratulate Sky on her Ron Burgundy thing where Gimli was actually written incorrectly in the doc. And she just read it straight up.
Ron Burgundy? So
I just noticed it there. I was looking at it. I was like, "Oh yeah, someone spelt it wrong."
Dang, who put that on the teleprompter?
Yeah, exactly.
So, Escape from Osgiliath is the first stage that you would have the hobbits. It's not particularly interesting. It should be extremely difficult because the hobbits are pretty underleveled, and you're running through hordes of orcs. But we rotate the wheel so that we get Gandalf, and basically whoever's playing as Pippin just tries to stay out of the way as much as possible. Mm-hmm. And Gandalf just kind of cleans house.
Sorry, I need to move forward here in time.
Yeah, Shelob's Lair and Cirithungol are really the remaining interesting stages.
I was moving to Escape from Osgiliath there, but okay, yeah, let me go to Shelob's Lair here.
Yeah, I just wanted to prevent you from having to do all that work.
I will destroy you.
The
sitcom is off.
No, please. It's going to be the best sitcom.
No. All right, go ahead. Shelob's Lair.
So Shelob's Lair is a stage where you're just running through caves that are filled with spiders. So if you like spiders, this is the game for you.
Yay!
It's fairly straightforward. It should be a lot more difficult because the game will drop 3 spiders at a time on you, and that should be enough to overwhelm 2 hobbits. But it's Aragorn and Gandalf that we play, so she just wails on them with her magic spells, and that's
not magic.
Well,
no, he actually has magic in this one.
It's magic this time.
The best way to kill spiders is to torch them with fire.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
that's
it
the
works.
case in every video game unless the spider's already on fire.
That
Internet
works pretty well.
memes.
It's a fairly short stage if you're not like getting overwhelmed by enemies all the time. The interesting part of it is actually the fight at the end, the fight against Sheila, a giant spider. It's my second favorite cutscene in the game, because when you're fighting Sheila as Sam, you have the sword Sting, and every time you like get through one phase of the fight against Shelob, it'll show like Sam swinging his sword at Shelob and hacking off one of the legs or something like that. But because the game can't find the Sam model, the leg just kind of like falls off, which is pretty cool. It gets better in Sirathungol though. It gets better in Sirathungol.
Oh, does it?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
shall we go to Sirathungol then?
Well, don't leave us
Yeah.
hanging.
Yeah.
Well,
Hold
the
on,
thing about
buddy.
Shelob's Lair that's special is just that we are able to do the boss fight a lot faster. Typically, it's fight Shelob for a little bit, and then Shelob gets out of the way and drops spiders on you. But you can get Shelob to come back by just shooting at her while she's hanging out on the wall. So we basically have gotten to the point now where every time she gets out of the way, we bring her right back down and deal with the whole mess all at once.
Huh,
So
fantastic.
so that's pretty good. Sirith Ungol is neat. It's a stage where
I
you have to kill.
I can't
like,
wait to figure out why.
She's interesting.
It's a silly stage where you just have to like run through and kill like 80 enemies, which should be a lot harder because if you're hobbits, they don't kill 80 enemies very well. They don't kill 10 enemies very well even.
No.
They're hard put to kill one or two. Jesus.
Yeah.
Damn
So,
useless hobbits.
so we get most of those kills by Sky's playing as Gandalf here, and she just uses her bubble and runs into this room that we refer to as the mosh room. It's just a room with a whole bunch of orcs that are basically having a rave.
And Pearl Jam on, playing
much,
live on
yeah.
stage.
And she just runs in and kills like 30 of them in one go and then runs back out. So that's pretty awesome.
As a
This is
side
all in the
note-
span of like 5 seconds.
As a side note, Oth as Sam, back in the day when we used to play this as hobbits, ran into the middle of the room and thought it was a great idea. He's just like, okay, I got this. And I'm like, no, you don't.
It was a very Leroy.
Stupid fat hobbit.
Yeah.
So what if that worked, It would have been a hero.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty easy stage now that we have. I mean, at this point, the game is supposed to be hard because you're underleveled, but the last few
That's rubbish.
stages that we just. The last few stages we just kind of like run through at this point, so it's not that bad. Sirathungol is my other favorite cutscene because at the very end of the stage, you've actually rescued you've rescued Frodo, who got stolen by the orcs after he was captured by Shelob or whatever. Who cares? It's Lord of the Rings. Go watch the movie. But at the very end,
Get outta
Sam
here.
is really Sam is really excited about having saved Frodo, so he's like he's like laying down beside Frodo, and he's like, "You'll be all right, and we've saved you." And Frodo's like, "Thanks, Sam." And since the game can't find the Sam model, it's really he's just talking to a floating sword.
Oh, wait, we've got to find this then.
Yeah, it's right after the boss fight of this stage. On my screen, you're probably about a minute.
There we
go.
go.
A minute,
Sorry.
right?
It's very important.
Yeah, that is what it is. Right. It's
Well, now
probably
I know something good to look forward to.
yeah, it's probably my favorite. cutscene.
Sword just comes out of the ground, too.
Yeah, he's just talking to the floating sword. It's pretty great.
Du-du-du-du.
Yeah. I'm
It
just
is
now seeing
dangerous to go alone.
Take this. Dangerous, go alone, jerkwad!
But it's funny because Sam's not really talking in that cutscene, so you just see Frodo talking to a sword. It's neat.
I love you, sword.
The Crack of Doom is probably worth mentioning. It's such a weird boss fight for a game like this.
And a lovely stage name, too.
Dude.
Seriously.
I'm
Yeah, we
even
got
more
jokes.
confused trying to figure out like why Sam would be lying next to Frodo like that, like or gazing lovingly into each other's eyes. Like I don't.
Well, he got knocked over, and the head of the
okay.
orcs was like
All right, I
trying
get
to
it.
figure out
Knocked
what to
over.
do with him.
It's
I just
all
want to hear a sword say, Mr. Frodo.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Frodo. I must have got knocked over.
It is interesting
Whoops.
to note that this boss fight has cost us at least 2 runs right at the end of the run.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Easy. Because the only way to hurt Smeagol is to throw him into lava. You can't
Smeagol's
hurt
looking
him.
really rough in that cutscene, too.
Did they
Yeah,
fight
you
Smeagol in the movie? Like,
Well, Frodo tries to get him to fall in lava or something like that. They had to have a boss fight. What do you want?
I don't know.
Finally, a boss fight.
So you can't hurt Gollum. You can't do anything to him. He pretty much makes his own decisions, and if he falls into the lava, it was his own stupid choice.
Good use.
Basically, the way this boss fight works is that Gollum's gonna like run around really stupidly, and then when he decides he wants to lunge at you, if you were smart enough to be standing on the edge of the platform and move out of the way in time, he'll pretty much lunge his way off of the platform. You just kind of have to give him a little push. Otherwise, there's nothing to do in this stage. Like it's frustrating in a speedrun sense because you kind of want to like use your weapons or something to encourage him gently to die, but there's nothing you can do. Like he decides.
Come here,
if
lunch
he wants
money
to die.
nerd. Shove off into a volcano.
So this is probably the most infuriating end to any speedrun I've ever done, because a lot of times we'll lose 30 seconds or a minute on this split, and like you can't even be mad at it. It's like I didn't do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely loathe things like that.
Dude,
I
it's the
played this
perfect thing for
perfectly,
end of
and the game just said nope.
Not today.
Yeah, sometimes Gollum decides he doesn't want to lunge at you. Sometimes when he does lose his footing on the end of the platform, sometimes no matter how much you push him, he'll just regain it and kick you out of his way. Sometimes like he'll back off really far from you, and it's like, okay, let's move closer to him so he'll come closer, and then like
Very well.
nothing doing.
Dude. Well, okay,
All right.
so that's pretty much the route there, or for most of it. So
Yeah.
No, I know people are watching this and thinking, "Hey,
How
I have
can
a
I?
friend.
exactly.
No one is thinking that.
How am I gonna learn this game?" Because we're gonna give you three pieces of advice of how to learn this game. And by we, I mean you two. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah. We ain't doing shit. Get to work.
Yeah, we're just being here, you know.
But you guys did list some steps, so why don't you tell us about
You
them?
did. Let's go, Sky. You take the first one, Author, you take the second one, and then you can read the third one together at the same time.
It's
okay.
co-op.
Not doing anything at the same
All
time.
right.
All right,
Wow.
so the first one we have is pick characters that best suit your playstyle. Some stages do not have a best character, although with the running speeds, many do. And it's a good idea to play through casually first and see what works best for you. And furthermore, make sure that you know your friend well enough and that you can communicate well enough too. Otherwise, you're just going to be yelling at each other the entire time.
Sometimes that can be effective.
Oh, yeah.
Works for me.
But author, how about step 2? Watch a few runs. Tell us about
Yeah,
that.
there's no like wiki or anything, because you know we're on the frontier of this game. So I mean, your best bet's really just to watch a few runs. Like the game is pretty self-explanatory aside from minor tech. So like if you watch a few runs, you can pick up the little things like movement and combat stuff. But for the most part, just kind of seeing what we skip in the game and what we don't is probably the most effective way to learn it, honestly.
I guess just running through the levels and seeing what you don't have to do is a good start in that
Yeah,
case.
it's kind of tough to just know offhand, like, do we need to kill these enemies to progress, or can we just move on from this? So if you watch a run, you can pretty much see, hey, they just skipped killing everything there. I guess I can do
Wait,
the same.
you don't have to fight that guy?
Son of a...
Right.
All right, and then
Okay,
finally,
so-
together now,
wait.
all together now.
1,
I will not.
2...
No.
3, 2, 1.
No.
Bunch of shit!
You dare ruin
This show is over!
Sky, go for
Don't
it.
you dare
Alright,
ruin it.
alright.
Okay.
This comes from a guy who made spikes in Gilligan's Island. Anyways, practice individual bosses and you need to be adaptive. Like if you're good at impromptu things, this is the game for you. Like there's sometimes no one way to do it. You just have to figure out what to do in accordance with the situation. So always be ready to think on your feet for sure.
Yeah, pretty much no run ever goes the same way twice. So, it sounds weird to say that from a game that you're trying to optimize, but really your best bet is just kind
I've
of know
always
what you
liked
can
that,
do.
but some people hate that, so...
Yeah, I'm the sort of person that I want to know exactly when to press this button, always.
If there's a randomness within a window I can work in, i.e., you know, I lose maybe a maximum of a second if I don't read the fight properly, good.
Right. Yeah.
I'm happy with that, but some people can't stand it, so...
Well, that kind of thing offers a huge skill window, which is a lot of fun sometimes.
Well, people do often say I'm a high skill runner, so that probably matches with
Wow.
with that aspect.
It's high praise.
No one's ever said.
Excuse me. Something got in my throat right there.
Got is, oh, you finished your food already?
Yeah. Wow, that was fast. Good split. Ready for the dessert.
But yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Right on.
All right.
So that is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Yeah. Are we good to move on to records? Are you two sticking around?
Yeah, you want to hang around for some records?
I'd love to stay around.
You guys know the drill, right? Just you'll get handed one whether you like it or not, and if you know one, just jump in. Preferably really excitedly. Like, fly in there.
Oh my god, I have to read this.
Oh my god, I am the
Oh my
biggest
God.
fan of. Yeah, like
Exactly.
bit more enthusiasm. Like imagine you're like I don't know, a cheerleader or something like that.
Something along
Trying to
those
think-
lines, yes.
Trying to think of something American to get you like fired up, you know.
Read the records. Read the records. There you go.
Hey, speaking of authors,
Good lord.
Jesus Christ, here we go. Get ready, everybody.
Author Blues. You should read this one because this is a very sad author. This guy, Alan Wake. This was made for you.
All right. This is Alan Wake's American Nightmare for the PC. PC PAL, I have to assume.
It doesn't say anything, so maybe.
This is any percent normal mode in an hour, 2 minutes, and 58 seconds by Arg Runner. And he said, Alan Wake's American Nightmare in... That's helpful. Enjoy the run and follow me. Smiley face. Love you all.
I do like his comment was Alan Wake's American Nightmare in 102.58. So,
That's handy.
that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we have Ape Escape 2, which
We
is
do.
a fantastic game in a great series. This is the Japanese version on PS2. Japanese version allows you to quick switch gadgets, which for whatever reason, not in the other US or European versions. So odd. But it's 5857 by Ion. Gravare Ion G says, I thought this run was good, then I watched it. 57 minutes coming your way. So not happy with it, but that's cool. Ape Escape 2, great watch. We're hoping to have Ape Escape 2 and 3 coming up probably like 23rd of November. So
cool.
if you're into Ape Escapes, we'll have to check with that one if we can find an Ape Escape 2 person who wants to do it. If not, we might just make it Ape Escape 3. But Bucci will be there for Ape Escape 3, and Surreal might be there for 2 and 3-ish. And we'll have another look for people for Ape Escape 2, but Ion Gravity can't do it. So we'll have to look around. But it's a really cool game. If you guys still aren't on the Ape Escape train, if you still never played Ape Escape, especially 2 and 3, you guys need to go pick it up and try it because it's really fun. And they're nice and
Maybe as a
broken
kid.
too. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes, as evidenced by jumping straight off a cage here.
Yes. Yeah, the swim in air, there's flying, extra jumps, and it just gets more and more broken as you go. It's good because the first game now used to be significantly more broken than the other two, and then, nope, the other two caught up. So it's really impressive. But yeah, great games. Okay, great games.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take the next
there
one
you
here.
go. The swim. All right, yeah, just, keep going. You're the one
So-
that doesn't have lag, so.
It's true. It's Bionic Commando Rearmed on the PC, any
Oh,
percent
boy.
in 2056 by PJ,
PJ,
who sadly
we
could
know
not
him.
be here.
Yeah,
he
he's in a
says-
hotel.
Yeah, his comments are, this game really sucks. Shoutouts to Gildersleeves for buying this for me, though. Bad game or not, the gift is appreciated. The physics in this game are random, the grapple has a high chance of just failing, and the game crashes frequently. I can vouch for all of these. This run had really good RNG and got all the important quick kills and shortcuts, but lost like 9 seconds in Area 3 from continuously getting caught on a platform, and another 8 to 9 seconds on the escape from being a pixel or two too far to pull myself onto a platform. I will definitely not be trying to improve this.
So I'm going to assume, does anyone know what Kenny Mann's times were for this? Because I know he ran it, but I feel like he did 100%.
I think
I
he
remember
did.
being significantly longer.
Yeah, I think he did, but,
Yeah.
you know, PJ.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even if your
I'm
time,
not
even if your
defending.
time is long, he will find a way to improve it.
Yeah, but yeah, this is good. And I heard he got gifted Rearmed 2 as well.
I
Or bought it
believe
himself.
Murphigator has it on his 360 and is just letting PJ borrow his 360.
There you go.
I played that at SGDQ with PJ, and that game is broken as holy fuck.
But you can jump in that one, right?
You can, but
Is that the exciting
I think
thing?
it was 5 minutes, and PJ found a way to make himself fall through the floor at will.
Well, that is PJ. That took a little
all
longer.
it requires is a barrel, and then a few minutes later, I found a clip through the walls in Area 2, and yeah, the game is just trash.
Fair enough.
Absolute trash. And it'll be fun to watch him destroy it. So.
Oh, there you go. Confirmed by the chat that Kenny Mans is on 360 and the load times are significantly longer, which sounds about right. Get on that PC Master Race, guys. All right, Bucky O'Hare, NES, Japanese on the hard. That's hard. It's too late, so I can't do it with the full power it requires, but it's hard, all caps and an exclamation mark mode. In 24 minutes, 35 seconds by Callum Bull. I'm going to go with that one. Switch to the Japanese version. This saves about 12 seconds. I say about as I haven't gotten around to counting the frames. Definitely between 10 to 15 over the American version in text speed. There are no gameplay differences. This run eclipses the previous record's time when converted by a good 10-second margin. I hate to call him out, although I do take credit in it. He wrote this run ellipses the previous record's time. So unless that's an American idiom I'm not familiar with, I think it's meant to be eclipses.
Eclipses, I do believe, yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. All right, so there you go.
It turns the other one into dots.
It ellipses the time. it sort of draws an off-shaped circle around it. All right. Hey, well, Chippendale Rescue Rangers Fiesel's not here, but this is NES US version, 80% in 10 minutes flat, like straight on 10 minutes flat by Foot Dive, assumably a Doctor Doom fan. Who knows? This run was only 0.4 seconds off a sub 10, and I'm not happy about it. It's still a fairly solid run as I played every other level than B and H almost perfectly. Execution errors in B and H and subpar RNG on the spaceship boss cost me about 5 seconds. The good news is that next time you'll see this game on TSSB, it'll be sub 10 for sure. Shout out to the Best of NES Marathon.
And before he shaves 0.1 second off of his time.
Yeah, and before we get a 10 minute 0.01 or something. But yeah. All right. Okay. Now.
Yes.
Who wants to inadvertently enter into a long-running feud of how to pronounce the name of this
Wait, is UA in the chat? He is.
He's in
hey,
the chat.
UA.
I saw him earlier.
Is it Crystalis or is it Crystalis? Just curious.
Skybilz, there you go. You're going to step your foot into the ring here. You're going to read this one out for us.
You're just trying to see which way I'm going to pronounce it. I'm going to.
Well, just be thankful it's not Rosenkreuz Stiletto, okay?
All right. So this is Crystalis for the NES. Any percent in 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 26 seconds by Dragon Dark. Night of Derusting winds up with world record? ROM strats. The run itself was very solid, though there's still improvements. Most notably, I need to sit down and grind out the menuing. Not sure how likely sub 1 hour is, but we'll see as I work on this more.
He must have shaken off a lot of rust. Like, so much rust, it took some of the original product with it. Yeah.
That's some powerful derusting agent.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Dragon Dark's here, too.
Yeah, exactly. They're both here to fight it out. It's a log-running thing.
Dragon Dark wants to fight me.
I can't remember whose side you're on now, Skybilz, but you've just made a friend, I think.
Yeah. And an enemy.
You made a
All right.
Dangerous
Oh,
enemy.
great.
This is Disgaea Afternoon of Darkness on the Vita. The PS4.
That doesn't
oh my
make
god,
any
on
sense.
the Vita. Do we have a Vita icon?
No,
it's a microwave.
Have a
/
microwave.
TV.
Delicious.
It's a Vita, any percent in 349.22 by Pink Pajamas. Says, I finally got around to optimizing the maps in this game, and none of the monster captures failed. I can finally take a bit of a break now that I have this down to a point where I can submit it to Limit Break. That's the RPG marathon coming on this year.
Cool.
Now, I don't know if any of you know this. Is Afternoon of Darkness Disgaea 2 on the Vita, or is it just the Vita version of Disgaea 1? Or is the Vita version, yeah.
No, it's just the chapter of like part of a day in Disgaea. No. Sorry. No, I don't know
But no,
for
because
sure.
the original, I'm going to have to... it is Afternoon of Darkness. I just want to find out which one it is, if it's the first one remade for...
Me too.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
the
want
first
to know the
one.
answer to that question.
Oh my
Oh, God, no!
It's Fiesel.
It is
Hey, we were
Fiesel.
just
Don't leave me
not
hanging,
talking
man.
about you.
What's up, man?
It's the PSP port, apparently.
Ah, there we go.
And also, I guess, on the Vita at some point, because that's what he put. So there you go. It's the first game. It's great. I need to watch this then. Where's the link? I'm going to open this link and bookmark it because I want to see what you actually do. I'm a big fan of this guy games, and I'd love to see how they actually route it. So, like 4 hours though, less than 4. Damn. All right.
Oh man.
One last
Hey,
thing
Pete.
about Disgaea: deceptively hard to skip cutscenes in that game. You have to just if you tried to play it, you'd understand. I've never had a game where it's skill to skip cutscenes properly. Okay, Doom. Hey, Feasel, while you're here, now you've joined us. How did your
Yes.
run go? Just for the record.
Oh, I didn't see you guys there. Hello.
Oh,
The
Feasel,
run
what?
went great for a while, and I recommend that you stop watching the VOD when you get to about 4 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay, cool. I can do that.
And then, as far as you know, it went fantastic.
Brilliantly. Good job. Good job on your new fantastic run.
Yeah.
Hey,
Awesome.
how about Doom, Memento Mori? Tell us
How
all
about
about it. Yeah.
Tell us
Sure.
what region it is.
Doom's fun. This is PC US version, not PC PAL, so the PC PAL heads are going to be a bit disappointed. But it is a single segment UV speed, 1 hour, 17 minutes, 32 seconds by Cyberdemon 531, master of all things Doom. He says, Memento Mori is a 1996 megawad created by very talented content creators at the time. This is a long run because most of the maps don't have any skips and are really long. The previous record was 123.56 by Six Files, set in 2002. Oh, wow, that's a long-standing
pretty old.
record that he unseated. Main improvements are due to route and better play.
All right, well, good job.
Can't complain with those improvements.
Right, that's what you go for.
So you go. Better play, better route. Can't ask for anything more, except maybe RNG, but
See, now,
Right,
Flicky,
that's
you
true. You
say
didn't
he's
say
the
better
master of
RNG.
all things Doom, but I hear you just have to
I
shoot
didn't
at him
say
until
it.
he dies.
Feasel said it, not me.
Ah, you say. Well, Feasel said that. Either way.
Yeah, Feasel said it. I do not, any of those Doom masters out there. I don't want to step into the ring.
I was just making a bad joke about the old
About the
to
cyber
kill
demon.
the cyber demon, shoot at it until
right.
it dies.
Yeah. All right. Hey, you mentioned you played Fable earlier.
Well, hold on,
Gilbert.
hold on. The highlight is still going. I will
Oh,
talk
is it?
about
I'm
Fable
so
in a
sorry.
moment.
God, I'm just so behind. I just assumed the highlights have been over for 5 minutes
no,
before
sir.
I even get to it.
The highlight will be over in about 5 seconds.
Okay.
Actually, I lied. It's 3. It's over now.
Oh my God.
So, let me close this
Yeah.
and let the people see that Fable 2 on the 360 US any percent was beaten in 3:02:34 by Darklight Poco. And then let me bring up the highlight for it again because
Oh
there's
my
a highlight
God.
for it. It says very solid first hour of the run. The end of the run has some sloppy mistakes. I aim for sub 3 hours as my final goal. One of the important tricks of the game is an infinite experience glitch done by sleeping in a bed that gives a permanent bonus that we sell infinitely to max out all stats and spells. And
Okay,
yes,
new excuse for staying in bed.
yeah, exactly.
You're gonna wake up today.
No, I'm leveling up. I'm leveling, Mom. Come on. I'll do the dishes later, all right? You gotta save the world first. But he says, and yes, Franker Z is involved in this game, although sometimes he despawns and softlocks my game. Damn it, Frankers.
Such is the life of a dog owner, I think.
I don't know, mine would just chew the controller cables back in the day.
Oh my
It's a
God.
little bit,
I love this already.
yeah. Hold on.
No, it's like God of War all over again. It's the solid hanging, just flying around. Boy. I'm not sure I've knowingly seen a Fable run. I know Adam used to always tell everyone he was running Fable and working on Fable.
Flying
and he had
animation
work
is
on
too
it.
good.
He never had.
Whee!
He lied to us. I'm just looking at menus now. I'm waiting for this flying to come back. I feel teased.
I really cannot handle this goat.
The goat is fantastic. Shut up. His neck is awesome.
It
I
looks
don't
like
know
it's
how you do
glitched,
that.
that goat.
I know.
The goat looks like it's...
He's
the model
sequence
is trying
breaking
to
looking
catch
at you.
up with something. It's a lot like the goat simulator goat now that I
Exactly.
think about it. Like,
I'm telling you, he's sequence breaking looking at you.
just a lot
He
slower.
doesn't need to turn his body. He just cranks his neck 360 degrees like it's fucking broken. And then he smiles at you. It's to eat your soul.
Let me know when this highlights.
It's done. Go for it.
Okay, all right. Hey, you can do these to Author Blues. I heard you're a big fan of Disney. So,
Disney.
Walt
Yeah.
Disney.
Thank you. So this is Land of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse for the Sega Master System, the US version. Any percent in 2652 and 100% in 3254, both by B-Trim. And
Stay
he
trim,
says-
fellas. Keep those pounds off.
For the record,
Stay trim.
the highlight reel is from the any percent.
Okay.
Go on with the comment.
So he says, apologies to Malay, who held this record last time I submitted it to the show. An intended shortcut that I was ignorant of saves about 40 seconds. I executed the Mephis skip very well and also got the key glitch.
Yeah.
Congrats on that key glitch.
I'm
Sounds
keeping quiet
super
about
helpful.
all things Disney. I got hate tweets from Aidenol saying I did not know enough about Disney to comment, so I can't
To be
imagine
fair,
because I
do
thought
you know a lot about Disney?
no.
I don't know. I
Okay,
quite
well, then
enjoyed.
I assumed males stopped liking Disney when they were about 10, like
I
because
love
my
Disney.
dad beat it into me to grow up, but apparently that's
Yeah.
actually misleading, and people are allowed to enjoy Disney up until
That's true.
their old age. I was not
Right,
aware
you
of
can,
this.
That's some
you
shit.
can watch Lion King anytime, any place.
You
and
can.
No one's going to judge you.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until
This conversation
recently.
got dark.
Did
Oh,
anyone
well.
notice they're called tries and not lives in that game?
Wow. That's a good point. I never noticed that before.
It's just a less violent thing.
Yes.
You lost your tries.
Mickey never
but you got
dies.
more tries.
Mickey never dies. Mickey always tries.
The thing
There
is,
you go.
though, wouldn't that make the try again grammar really horrible?
Yes.
When it's try again, no,
Mickey
life
continues.
again. All right, hey, Skybilz,
Yeah.
you can talk about this one because authorblues just talked about the last one. I don't want to give him two in the row. Then you guys are gonna be like fighting. Oh my god, why does Flicky like him more?
I
And,
still say
oh,
they should read it cooperatively.
be a big mess. So
Same time.
we know authorblues isn't gonna have any part in those shenanigans, Gil.
Damn it.
Well, at least he's not going to make me sing it, so I'm okay with
Oh,
this.
that's a good idea. Sing it.
Ugh, never suggest anything.
Good idea.
I do.
Sing this one.
Stop having ideas.
You can
Thank
read
you.
it. Read it up to the name and then sing the comment itself.
All
There we
right.
go. Good stuff.
Do a thing.
Thank you, but no.
You sure? You don't
Yes.
want to?
No,
Okay,
I'm
that's fine.
You're all too kind. All right, so Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. Hey, never heard of this game before. For GameCube, any percent easy co-op, and it's in 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 29 seconds by authorblues and Skybilz. Again, we don't know who these
Yes,
people
whoever the
are.
hell they are.
Right.
And
I don't know what the Lord of the Rings song is, but I'm just trying to get some music. So you're like.
Jesus
No.
Christ.
so,
Not gonna work. Okay.
using Faramir for the early stages ended up saving some running time. That compared with some better routing on the later stages ended up saving about a minute total. Some of us suggest that sub 140 might one day be possible, but there's so much we don't know about boss manipulation that would need to be solidified.
Did authorblues write that comment by any chance?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Okay.
I
She
made him
makes
do
me
it.
submit everything. The struggle is so real.
You're so good at it, though.
Thank you.
All right.
Aw.
One day I want to be good enough at my speedruns that I can just give dugong comments like, great game. Neat.
They're usually like crap run, complete garbage.
Yeah.
That's usually what
Yeah.
they say.
I don't even think great game is a normal comment, is it? It's not.
No.
That's like
We are talking
better
about
than
speedrunners,
usual.
aren't we?
It's better than average. All right, hey, you did want this one as well. You wanted You wanted OG man as well.
Man, you like her
Yes, I
better than me.
did.
Oh well, she called it first. All right, what do you want?
I'm learning this game, all right? So,
Gets on.
all right.
It does look
So
cool.
this is Low G-Man for the NES, any percent in 1344 by Zaki the Hybrid. I think that's also Zaki Draghi, but
That's right. This is new handle.
This is a new Zaki Draghi who has merged
New
with
and
something
improved.
else and now is a
Doesn't wanna be known
hybrid.
as Zaki
No, it's not.
Draghi anymore. You are holding him down.
it is
Oh,
like
I'm sorry.
Gandalf the White almost. Anyways,
Yeah.
got that sub 14 I was trying for after first improving my 1415 by 1 second, and then that run by 9 seconds. I knew I was getting close, so I just kept grinding it out. I played it a little safer on 5-2 this time. However, as I had kept losing so many sub 14 pace runs there before. My execution still needs some work, and despite the decent RNG I received this time, it can always be even better. Sub 1330 is definitely possible and is my next goal. Or is it mine?
So Sky,
Dun, dun, dun.
Sky, is it true what you were saying earlier about you saying that this run's like pretty good, but you can do way better, and you're going to have the world record at the end of the week? Is that true
Whoa.
still?
Nah,
The
I'm
pressure's
learning
on.
from
Is that
him
just
right
what you were
now.
saying earlier, saying that like Zaki's, not as good as you are, and
No.
is
I
that
actually
true? That's
think
still
he's pretty
true.
Look,
awesome.
Well, she may not have said that on the Skype call, but
Well, I'm just saying.
Oh.
I remember
thanks,
definitely her saying it to me earlier today.
No, this game's pretty awesome though, and I can't wait to see more of his runs. He's been kind of giving me some advice as I've been visiting his streams. So I don't think I'm ever going to get world record, but I'd love to get a competitive time in this at least.
I love that you can only attack up and down with that thing.
Yeah.
I still like that the game literally runs in
I don't know
60
what
frames
this
per second,
boss
but it plays at like
is.
24, maybe.
It looks weird. Yeah, something about
Where's
it.
that boss? Are they its feet? Are they
It's
like
like,
little
an
feet?
antlion or something. I don't know.
Is
Something
it?
like that.
Oh, we're leaving that pose up for just a second here. That is a fantastic picture.
I don't even know what it is. Yeah, they do look
Success.
like arthropod mouth parts of some kind, but what's
Yeah,
the rest
it
of it?
does.
It's an antlion.
No, antlions live in the sand.
Keep
right?
it down, nerd.
They're just like little feet. Look, I don't know.
Success. See, that looks like a going offline picture. That's one that
Exactly.
you got a screen cap for your stream.
I'm so far behind that I still haven't got that picture yet.
You're not
so-
there yet? Oh,
Okay,
man.
give it a minute.
Oh, now I got it.
there
There
you
we
go.
go.
It'll
Hey,
be up there
I
for a
quite
few
like
seconds
that.
for you.
man, what is with British internet?
I don't know, but while he's trying to figure that out, I'll talk about Mackay Kingdom.
It's less the internet and more the
I
like
won't.
thousands of miles between England and America.
Yeah.
So yes, it's Mackay Kingdom on the PS2, US version, any percent, 323.46 by Pink Pajamas.
Also a great game.
Mackay Kingdom is a gridless tactics RPG. This run abuses the reincarnation mechanic along with a character duplication glitch to create an army of characters with about 3 times as much base attack.
This is like like Phantom Brave, if you remember that. It's Disgaea, it's a Nippon Ichi tactical RPG, but it's gridless, so it's circles instead of squares. Takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's still great. Still Mackay Kingdom, it's still cool. So you should get them. Just go buy them. Why don't
God,
why not?
Spend all your money, come on.
Why not?
Wasting
Like,
time for.
You've probably got some kind of American cheap things coming up, right? Black Friday.
Sure, why
is
not?
soon, right?
American cheap things, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, you got Black Friday, right? It's probably coming up. It's about due. It's a winter. All right. Speaking of, no, nothing.
Nope.
I didn't even look at the next one. I just tried it.
Yeah.
Just start
it's,
the
Now,
segue
speaking
and
of
where you're
winter,
going.
there may be some
Going to the
snowstorms
segue
around. So-
it's Metal Storm.
no, we don't
NES.
have metal storms in the US, I'm afraid.
No.
Just snow.
Well, we don't even have storms, so we just get rain. This is NES US version, any percent second loop in 1610 by Uranium Anchor. So significantly better than the last time this was on the show, but still 2 deaths that I wasted about 5 seconds each, and other bits of strategy that I still need to refine. Current summer best is 1525, and I know there's still parts I can improve. Hope to have something I'm happy with by the end of the new year. This is the other flip upside down game that he played.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the only one. And incidentally, this on the second loop, any percent, he just in the marathon run that he did just yesterday got within 1 second of that time. His marathon run on second loop was 1 second
Holy
short
shit.
of record.
Nice work,
Wow.
UA.
Yeah, I heard. Speaking of 1 second and marathon, was that best of NES?
Yep.
Yeah, the DuckTales race apparently everyone finished within 1 second of one another of the DuckTales
wow.
race. Too. So, there you go. That was Nadua Bangera and someone else I've forgotten.
That'd be cool to go back and
I'd
watch,
say
actually.
Dexter, but yeah. But we should probably mention best of NES when we're done with this.
Yes, we
seeing
will.
as
It was
yeah,
PLD was the third one.
PLD. There you go. There you go. Hey, Middle Earth.
What about it?
In Author
That's
Blues.
just yeah. Wow.
All right.
You're from Middle Earth, right?
That's what I mentioned earlier in the show.
Yeah, that's what you said. I said, you like, whoa, do you live near Blackie?
no,
and
no,
you were
no,
like,
no.
yeah, we're both from Middle Earth. I
Flicky,
remember.
Flicky. Deep South is southward, not down.
It's cool. Yeah.
You don't dig to get to the Deep South. It's just a euphemism.
So this is Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor for
Yep.
PC, not PC Pal. PC Pal's really taken a hit this week.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, it's
any
not many
percent-
people running it.
I know, no one likes their PC anymore. Any percent in 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 19 seconds by Fearful Ferret. And Fearful Ferret has this to say. This run requires a lot of improvisation, as you have to kill 4 of the 5 war chiefs in the first area and brand all 5 war chiefs in the second area. War chief locations are random, war chief attributes are random, and the mission objective is to make them appear random. A good run requires not only some good luck, but also making the best of whatever the game throws at you. It's been a lot of fun to work on this game, and I look forward to what the community will discover in the months to come.
This just clicked in me, like who this is and what this game is as well.
Okay.
Ferret was one of the now I'm gonna get this wrong, but it's either BioShock Infinite or it's Dishonored. I want to say Dishonored runner.
They think Dishonored.
Dishonored, right? And this is the new Lord of the Rings game, which is like a third person. Everyone calls it to me Middle Earth Assassin's Creed Batman.
Oh, that sounds
wow,
great.
that's
Yeah. But yeah, you have to like go after the war chiefs in it, and there's all sorts of stuff you can do to get them to kill each other, but ultimately you still have to kill a bunch of them. But they're in random spots, random situations when you find them. So like, really intrigued if they find any way of manipulating that, or how they even go about it. Like, it seems pretty random on paper, so yeah.
So
I'm intrigued. Color me intrigued. I thought it was it's one of those Lord of the Rings RTS games, and then when you said Fearful Ferret, I was like, hang on a sec.
Oh, he also does BioShock Infinite. It's not just Dishonored.
He does both of them. Oh my god.
oh my god.
Oh,
You got him
So
both.
I have one
God,
question.
that's what being right feels like.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which Hobbit is the one that the city deserves?
Unfortunately, you play as like a human, I think.
Son of a
Or an elf.
bitch!
It's not
You're
a
just
hobbit.
actually
you
Batman.
wanted.
That's
I
no
love a
good at
tiny
all.
Assassin.
I want a
hobbit
tiny Hobbit Batman.
Assassin
With
hobbit.
really
Batman.
big feet.
That would be fantastic. All right, moving on. We got Paladin's Quest on the SNES. Hey, Dragon Dark's been busy this week.
yeah,
huh?
yeah, let's look at
I'll
this
read
guy.
a Dragon Dark one.
Oh,
for it.
Go
I
on,
like
go
that,
for it.
dude.
Yeah.
Even though I know nothing about this game. But this
Go
is
for it.
Paladin's Quest, and it's for the Super Nintendo. That's what I know about it. It's an any percent run in 4 hours, 26 minutes, 26 seconds by Dragon Dark. He says, throughout definitely feels like it's coming together nicely, but it still needs a couple more tweaks. This run had 2 deaths, costing about 23 minutes. Ouch. A deathless run could cut the 4-hour mark, but deathless in this game is extremely difficult thanks to a difficulty level that's all over the place. The inability to revive characters in battle, a final boss that can end a run for no other reason than he feels like it.
Jesus.
I will say, that never happens to me, so I'm so lucky that happens. All right. He says, I will start single segment attempts soon. Pray for my sanity.
I refuse.
I think praying for your sanity is long gone.
I was going to say, I don't like to waste my time.
Dragon Dark,
All right.
things you do to get out of running Deadly Towers.
Oh, sorry, I'm busy
Shots
with another
fired.
project I've been working on. It's
Quick, what's the longest game I can find? Oh,
Fucking hell.
All right. Hey, Portal though.
Portal,
This is-
though.
This is a PAL though.
Yeah,
This is a
it's a
PC,
PC
PAL run,
PAL.
so there are some out there. This is Inbound in 12 minutes 26 seconds and 325 hundredths by Blizzic. He says, I thought my last run 1229 was a good run. I was wrong. Aiming for sub 1220. Okay, we'll keep going. I've learned not to tell Portal runners what they can and can't do. So they'll find a way. So, all right. Now, Risk of
I'm
Rain.
playing this a lot, and the new speedrun uses the character I like.
Oh my god! And you
that's
live in a
something.
rainy environment.
No. Pennsylvania's not terribly rainy.
No, okay, that was a long shot. But I
trying.
thought I'd try it
Well,
out.
when I was in North Carolina, yes. In summer, it's very
There you go,
rainy
see?
there, But
There you go.
meanwhile, let me start the highlight reel, and
Okay.
then I will discuss
It's not the PC PAL game. This by the
Yes,
original
it
PC
is.
PAL runner as well.
It is,
This
by
the-
Onin.
Onin.
On the PC PAL, any percent
Yeah.
in 1057, it's Risk of Rain. He says, Risk of Rain got a new patch. While mainly aimed to improve performance across the board, and it did very well, it also added some new content and some bug fixes. Bad news, wall dashing got fixed and they added another time door before Providence. Good news, Providence no longer has a damage shield, and one of the new items resets your cooldown. Using this to stack the Bandit's stealth ability permanently increases his movement speed, which stacks infinitely. Good use. In addition to
I
being
love
Sonic
Those
now,
words combined together.
Yes, I'm
Speed
quite-
stacks infinitely.
like I said, this is the character I use in just playing the game casually with Murph in co-op, so I'm thrilled to death. Let's see. In addition to being Sonic now, I pick up multiple of the new double jump items so that there's a 50% chance I can fly over the last level and skip one 30-second door timer, only 2 of the 4 spawn points have their back door open. It took a metric crap ton of resets to get the right item set, good portals, and a good last spawn point, no dying to Providence, but an entire minute shaved off of the previous record was worth it. Congrats, Onan, and thank you for calling my attention to something I will be abusing the shit out of next time I play this game co-op with Murphygator.
I'm just waiting to see his speed increase exponentially and just fly off the screen. But I don't know how fast you move normally. So.
Trust me, he's hauling all
Okay,
kinds of
that's all right.
It's not, I mean, it doesn't appear that fast, but if you've ever played the game, he's like greased fucking lightning right now. That's fantastic.
Let me know when the
Oh my
highlights
god. On my end, it's ending in about 3 seconds, but... Wow, that Providence fight. That's good shit.
Alright.
Well,
Does anyone know about this? What this is exactly? Man?
Vaguely.
It's like a rhythm game? What?
But the time I was more specifically referring to, Mr. Facetious. Authorblues. Can you tell us about it, or at least try?
Well, I mean, I'm aware vaguely. Isn't this the any percent arbitrary code execution glitch?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
So this is Rockman by Megara 1 in Rockman for the NES Japanese version. Any percent arbitrary code execution in 334 by Megara 1. This is the one where there's like a 1 in 255 chance that if you sort of like waggle on one of the stages, it automatically skips to the credits. Like there's a specific pixel position, if I'm remembering correctly, on one of the stages, and if you like do the waggle
I know on
properly,
the Iceman stage, there's the teleport to the end of the stage. You finish the stage. Can you actually go straight to the credits using that?
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe I'm not aware if they figured out a way to turn that into a credits warp. But that would definitely explain it. 10 memory values, 10 pixel perfect tricks or so. Oh, that's not that bad.
Yeah, only 10. I mean, that's 10 times as many as I normally do in a game, so...
Seriously, good stuff, Megara.
Yeah, good job, good
Very
job.
Cool.
All right, we have a game here called Socket, which is on the
That's
Genesis.
very rude of you.
Just saying, that's just what it's called, all right?
There's a Feasel present, sir.
I guess socket in England just means like if you punch someone, like socket to them, I guess. Do you just have that in America?
Yes.
Yes, you do. There
Sock
you
it to me,
See?
sock it to me, sock it to me, sock it to me.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah, because Parliament sing about it. There you go. All right, this is any percent Genesis in 2955 by Sets, who says that this was a really excellent run, then it stopped being an excellent run and became bad. I thought I'd be happy with sub 30, but I may want to take this slower in the future. I almost stopped reading it that I thought I'd be happy, and I thought about just cutting it off there, but should read the rest of it for him. Hey, oh my god, I am so out of touch with these NES games. What's been happening here? Oh boy. Does anyone know about this one in particular? If not, I'll just throw it at Sky.
What, Super Mario 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
What
gonna
happened?
I
Sky about
speedrun
that.
this game. I'll
Oh,
take it.
good. There you go.
Alright, so this is Super Mario Bros. 3 for the NES, any percent in 313 by Produx. Pretty good run overall. Many small things could have been better, but in the end it was a pretty solid run. I plan to get a time under 3 minutes. 10 soon. Oh, sorry, under 3 minutes, 10 seconds soon with some new stuff added to the run. And then there's some other stuff he doesn't want us to read. But I remember watching him as he was working on this wrong warp. I thought he was crazy at first because, I mean, if he moved a quarter inch like too far, it would just freeze the game. I'd be like, that's not going to do anything. And then I saw the end credits and
Well.
all I could do was facepalm myself and go, oh my gosh, no.
So I missed the wrong warps here. I'm so out of touch.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to the wrong warp that's in Super Mario Land 2, where basically you use a pipe to get in the Super Mario Brothers 3 version, you take a pipe the wrong direction and you actually go into invalid memory pretty much. Like the game starts generating sprites based on memory that was never meant to be level design.
Nice.
And there's like one block there that if you hit it just right and you've set up the stage to have certain memory values correct, it won't crash your game and will also take you directly to the credits.
I mean,
Sweet. Dude, I'm
Cool.
so glad that they found another one of those. That Super Mario Land 2 thing is nuts. So
Yeah, if either of these runs, the Super Mario 3 or the Rockman, gets submitted again, next time I'll be around and I won't be preparing for the marathon run, so I'll actually be able to make highlights and we can see these things in action and not just speculate about them. So
we had
Yeah.
you were a bit busy with doing an awesome speedrun for charity, well, not a charity, a marathon. So
Yeah.
we'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
We'll let it slide this time.
If
All right.
any-
Oh,
Sorry, I was gonna say if anything, it looks like the wrong word for Kirby's Adventure. Like that's the closest thing I can compare it to.
okay. So we have two different wrong warps we're comparing it to.
It's definitely the thing I love the most about speedrunning, though, is just seeing exactly how broken this games can
Yeah.
get.
In ways you would never expect.
Exactly.
To the point where the people who made it are claiming that they didn't anymore.
Yeah.
So,
No, God, no. I was sick
yeah,
for
no,
months.
No, I was on Super Marissa Land.
Oh,
3,
yeah, my wife had a baby, and we were both on pregnancy leave.
Oh, I knew I shouldn't
Exactly.
have left that project early. But yeah, we have Terra Nigma on SNES, Japanese version, any percent in 340.33 by Kroek. Or I don't know. I lost 2 minutes because bad RNG on Parasite and Birds, but the rest of the run was really good. It's a popular game. I know PJ's a big fan of this one, and I know a few people who run it. I know Exo and Lemon, both German runners, have run this game in the past too.
Yeah, Eternity is a cool
It's
game.
cool to see. Yeah. We have as well the No Out of Bounds Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Am I correct in thinking this is going to be AGDQ?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I can't remember. I have a feeling it might be, but we'll let the chat correct me on that one. But this is a PC. This is the any percent no out of bounds, so no flying immediately to the end of the game and finishing in that way.
Oh,
This 4606 by Matumbro. 45 should be soon.
right on.
Yeah, right.
A lot of people
and
with
we've got
the,
another one actually.
Yeah, I was saying a lot of people with the. Guess what? I'm gonna improve the shit out of this.
Yeah,
this week.
yeah.
I'm
A
liking
lot
it.
of motivation this
Exactly.
week. Oh, except for PJ.
Yeah, I ain't touching this piece of shit again.
This is done. And then we have as well Oblivion: The Knights of the Nine on PC. This is Goal Knights of the Nine, 3655, all by Matumbro. This run is of the Knights of the Nine expansion. This category is much more fun to run due to the inclusion of the Crack Horse. Which, as the name suggests, makes your horse absurdly fast.
Alrighty.
There's also a sequence break for the first quest that lets you skip finding all of the way shrines and saves about 10 minutes of running all over the map. I'm happy enough with the time now to focus on routing all guilds, which should be fun. The
Crack Horse.
I thought it said Crack House at first.
That's
and I
even
was
better.
like, wait, what? But yes.
The Crack Horse, who lives in the Crack of Doom.
Yes. All right. Now
Related.
we have 3 runs left. There's 4 of you people who aren't me.
Start drawing straws.
That's math play right there.
All right, rock,
All
paper, scissors. What did you throw?
We'll give.
I need to know what you threw first.
No.
We'll give Ocarina of Time to authorblues. We'll give Wasteland 2 to Skybilz, and we'll give Wizards and Warriors to Feasel, because Feasel is a wizard and a warrior, as you guys may be aware of.
Faisal, we need to talk after the show then.
I'm a wizard.
No, don't worry. You can talk about Best of NES.
You're a wizard, Harry.
No,
I'm a wizard, me?
So the
Okay.
next one is apparently The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, N64 Japanese version, and this is the Ganonless category.
The credits swap, as
Yep.
we came to the
Completely
conclusion of
skipping
last
Ganon.
week.
Yep. In 3645 by Frogbird, who says, the goal of this run is to get to the credits as fast as possible without fighting Ganon. I guess he must have heard you guys last week. Some
I
key
think he
finds. Some key finds have been made the last few months, which have made this time possible. For example, using quick draw to get a much faster bottle on B method, as well as being able to get bomb choose with blank A, which allows us to skip bombs and take all major RNG out of the route.
Oh, cool.
that's nice.
Wait, all major RNG off the road? Can't complain.
Yeah, it's really entertaining to watch too. This is
Yeah,
it's
this
just
is
full
definitely.
of brokenness.
I know
This is made
Skater's
on a-
been doing a lot to find a lot of the glitches for Ganonless.
Is it just me, or does Link's skin look very pale here? Is it just me?
He's not exfoliating enough.
Does exfoliation make your skin pale?
I'm not sure.
Did you just
I
say
don't
that?
exfoliate.
Is your skin pale?
I was looking for skin-related humor. I was going more for quantity
You should
than
have gone with
quality.
the safe bet, like, oh, he needs to. No, it's because he's in caves all day or something. You know,
Right.
it's all right. Don't worry about it. Takes practice to be this good. You know.
Tell me more about your segments.
Literally minutes.
It's quantity, not quality. It's the solution. That's why this is episode 120.
Yeah.
So, of course. But yeah, good job to Frogbert. Thank you for explaining it and clearing it up, because last week we did have a touch of trouble trying to remember which one this was. But yeah, it's cool to see people coming back to categories that sort of not actually obsoleted, but I guess in terms of any percent were obsoleted, so.
I do love the whole, like, I jumped into this warp, and now everybody's dancing! Hooray!
Just gotta play Ocarina and die in the warp zone, and that's
What
it.
if you accidentally found that as a kid? Like, what if you thought you had finished the game?
Yeah.
As a kid, you did, like, a sequence of frame-perfect tricks by accident.
Yep.
I remember us
Well, I did a lot
having
of frame
some of
perfect tricks
these
as a kid.
discussions. We were talking about it with Ease as well. Like if some kid just went and bought some mirrors and finished the game and was like, "Man, this
That
game
was fucking
sucks."
easy.
Yeah. It's stupid. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I gave this one to Sky. So yeah.
All right, so this is Wasteland 2 for the PC. Good ending, segmented in 4831 by Coddy. Wow, this is quite the novel here. Some time ago, I did a bad ending run, mostly as a joke, but since then, I've been working on getting a full run done. First, I discovered a way to trivialize all combat by duplicating rocket launchers and grenades. While I made the game easy, it didn't make it any shorter, as I could not skip much of the content. Then I discovered a trick that I call radiation walking, which allows me to skip getting radiation suits to travel through irradiated areas. That skipped about 70% of the game. The only problem left was that the final boss was a pain in the ass, since the fight was long and required more rocket launchers than I could carry. Then I found a spot I could use to clip through a wall and skip the boss fight completely. As a result of all that, in the final run, I complete one area normally, blast through about 25% of the game with rocket launchers, and skip everything else. Of all the runs I've done, this one may be my favorite, because I really was not expecting to be able to bring the run to this level without any help.
It's been a joy to follow Gotti on Twitter and be in Skype conversations with him while he's been routing this. So it's just been step by step, like, wait, you can do this? Toying with this, and then saved an hour.
Skip 75% of the game.
Yep, that's a Gotti special, that is. If he can't run through bunches of the game or go places he's not allowed to, he doesn't want to know.
Not interested.
Begins. Yeah.
I can't skip everything. Tell your story walking video game.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Yes,
This is
indeed.
segmented,
Good
so I'm
job,
interested to see if he can do
Single
the single segment at all.
But we need to ask our resident wizard warrior.
Yes.
Fiesel, you're both multiple people, and some of those are wizards and some of those are warriors, right?
All at the same time.
That's
pretty
true.
impressive.
No, it
Yeah.
isn't.
Oh my god.
Now I'm just like imagining him as the two-headed ogre mage from. I've got the brain. Oh!
It's like, I fought it, you fought it, we fought it,
We did it.
we did it.
We're ready, master. I'm not ready.
Oh yeah, that's right. All right, Wizards and Warriors, I guess.
Yeah.
For the NES, this is a great game. Wizards and Warriors. I wasn't sold on it till I saw there was an NES game. So this is an all stages run, because I guess this game is really broken and you don't have to actually, beat the levels and everything. So this is an all stages run, 22 minutes, 41 seconds by Dark Terex. It's a really neat run to watch. Let's see. He says, remember how on the last record I said it would be hard due to RNG.
You can do it.
No, I'm trying to understand the sentence I just read. It's not what I it's not what I read. It's something else.
Is it garden
Okay.
path sentence? Is it?
Yeah. All right. Well, okay, sure. Due to RNG. Well, I was 58 seconds behind and PB'd by 1.5 minutes. Oh, he says, okay, I get it. He's missing the word beat. He said, I said it would be hard to beat due to RNG. Well, I was 58 seconds behind and PB'd by 1.5 minutes because of the best RNG I've ever seen on the last stage and final boss and a good boss fight on the second to last stage. I believe sub 22 minutes is possible, but again, that likely will rely on RNG at that point. Fun game to run either way.
I love that.
This
I
is
was
really cool run.
58 seconds behind. I beat it by a minute and a half. Damn. That's pretty horrifying RNG.
Yeah.
Props to you for not quitting after being a minute behind as well. Well,
I
there
looked
you
into
go.
this for a while. It is
Yeah, that definitely takes dedication.
Yeah.
You're behind on a run, you're just like,
Citizen and Warriors. There you
so
go.
red.
That's all the records
That
we
is
were
all the
told about
records.
this week. Remember, you can go to tssbreak.com and submit your records there. There's a submit record form. Fill it out, give us the info, and
All
here
right.
it magically shows up in our thing. Off I go then.
All right. I don't want to.
All right. Anyway,
Okay. No, I'm hungry.
we should probably mention Best of NAS a bit. Then.
Please do.
I mean, it's over now.
Yes.
They're in
I
bonus
think it's
stream
bonus
now.
stream.
It's still
They're
up,
bonus
but, but the main marathon's over.
I watched bits and pieces of it. I watched Bangera's Lion King run, which is when it was realized that it's not best NES games, but best NES runners. I heard nothing but good things about the Ninja Gaiden and Mega Man blocks, which is unsurprising because, you know, great runners and great commentators. I know Duckfist apparently did a great job. Did you? Was it PJ who watched that? I can't remember. One of us was saying it was great. But yeah, it seemed to be pretty successful. A few schedule problems aside, it had lots of viewers. I saw it. I saw it at 800, but at average it was 1,800 to 2,500. So it was an odd drop to 800. But I feel like maybe the stream went down and came back up. But yeah, it seemed like a pretty big success. You played a game there, right, Fiesel?
Yeah, I sure did. I played
yeah.
a couple.
Yeah.
I did Final Fantasy just now, and I did Renegade and Gauntlet late last night.
Oh, Renegade. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not the only one who participated in this marathon.
Oh yeah, one of our guests did, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Did
I
you?
played the Flintstones Return to Dinosaur Peak.
Cool. How'd your run go?
You know, it could have been better if I'm being honest.
I mean, it's a marathon run.
I have a PB of 16 minutes, and I gave them an estimate of 20 because I felt like giving myself a lot of wiggle room, and it only took me 24. So
Oh, that's good.
These things happen.
There you go. I'm not good at NES games, so I didn't get invited, unfortunately.
don't worry.
Take that.
I know how you feel.
Yeah. That's what you get running on real consoles, right, Sky?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I didn't want to be part of your stupid NES marathon anyway.
That's taking the Low G-Man record is going to change all that. So next year, Low G-Man's going to be in Best of NES.
Oh,
Everything's
Jesus.
looking up Skybilz.
Don't you
Right.
dare
Yeah.
abandon me, Skybilz. I thought we were tight. I thought we
We'll
were
see.
friends, and now this is how it is.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
I'm gonna go hang out with the European PC speedrunners. They understand me. But yeah, so Best of NES went well. I think Spookathon was also on past weekend too.
I missed that.
Yeah,
did too.
it was Spookathon. It was on. It was spooky.
Uh-huh.
On the one bit I watched actually was spooky, but you know, it was on. Maybe we should have told you about it last week, but maybe I forgot.
Before it happened.
Yeah, but still, are there any marathon things happening next week? I know, actually, speaking of this is a thing we should let me have the time to go find, and hopefully my PC will load quick enough that I can still be talking and find it, and it seems smooth, but it's not
Good
because my
call.
PC's too slow. But there's a speedrun scare calendar that I believe has been created by Mike89. I'm going to keep quoting that until I get proven wrong, but I'm pretty sure Mike89 has started a speedrun calendar of different speedrun events.
That's
that
actually
are,
a really cool resource.
going on. Yeah, it's got like all the marathons that are happening coming up, AGDQs on there, but all the small online ones too, all these sorts of events. There you go, speedrun event calendar. Tum-ty-tum. You can view it here. Click and link. There it is. This is the speedrun event calendar. So as you can see, Best of the NES was on this weekend, but next week, apparently on Saturday, there's a Mario Relay Race number 2, and the Showcase Race number 3 is on.
The Mario Relay Race for next week has been canceled, actually.
Oh, okay. So,
I think it's been delayed to December, actually, so it's just something you're going to stay tuned for.
okay, right. So, but the Showcase Race number 3 is on next Saturday at 5 p.m. something time. I don't know. Maybe EST. Not sure. But yeah, it's got all the events coming up. There's the DreamHack on there. There's the F-Zero Marathon coming up. You go month by month because Google's terrible like that. But yeah, that's a cool thing. If if you're wondering what sort of marathon stuff is on, like maybe you're hosting a speedrun podcast and you should really research these things beforehand.
Right.
This thing makes it much easier for you to check out this sort of thing. So check it out. I know you can message Mike89 as well, tweet at him or something, and you can get your event added on there. I don't think there's any criteria for events being on there or not. So just message that. But yeah, DreamHack's on there, which is the next live event as far as I know, going on in Sweden. I will be there for DreamHack Winter. Proudly returning to the place of overpriced, awful food. That is Jönköping's whatever it is, community center, the same as every other convention center in the world where the food's expensive and not good. But,
Fantastic.
yeah. But when you have a bunch of LAN players and nerdy guys like us to impress, you don't really need to be that good either. So,
Some shots.
Cool.
yeah. But hey, there you go.
Apparently
So that's
there was
that.
a Halo race that happened yesterday, I guess.
I wanted to mention that. Glad you mentioned
Relay
Halo.
race.
A cool thing about Halo that I heard about for the new Halo Mega Collector's Edition, pack
Master
or
Chief
whatever it's
Chronicles
called.
on the
Master Chief
Xbox One, I
Chronicles.
think.
A bunch of the achievements are named after speedrunners and people in the speedrun community. I can't remember all of them, but I know for a fact that the achievements for beating some of the games on Legendary in under 3 hours are named after speedrunners. One is named after Goat Rope, one's named after Mr. Monopoly, and there's another one that
Pro
I've
Ace Joker?
forgotten the other guy. Dark Devastation.
Ah,
And, yeah. Dark Devastation, and what was the last one? Ace Joker, is it?
Yeah, Pro Ace Joker, I think.
Price Joker, yeah. So those 4 speedrun ones are actually named after speedrunners, the actual achievements for the full game, which is really cool. And not just that, there's a bunch of other achievements in the game which are named after speedrunners too and other people in the Halo community. So that's just really cool to hear, to see like Goat Rope and Monopoly, Dark Devastation and Pro Ace Joker like immortalized in the achievements, so be recognized by the Halo devs or the guys porting the game, and that's really cool. So I thought that was worth mentioning. Okay, is there anything else?
I don't know. There's shout outs for our guests.
Yeah, there's shout outs for our guests. So just a reminder, we're going to run 3 minutes of ads after the show if you
And a
guys
raid
are
target.
sticking around. Yeah, we're going to get a raid target. We're going to run 3 minutes of ads. If you guys stick around and watch some ads, that will give us a little bit of cash, which would be fantastic. But Skybilz and authorblues, thank you guys very much for being here.
Sky,
Now,
any shout outs?
any shout outs? Yeah. Anyone? Anything?
I would like to shout out, and I think Othbit too, to our friend Uglier Goblin for just making this run possible. Again, thank you so much, UG.
Seriously, big time to Uglier Goblin, who is the Harry Potter 1 PlayStation 1 world record holder, by the way. And he's incredible.
I think there was an anti-shout out Sky wanted to make to Zaki Draghi for his low G time that's going to get beaten. That's what I heard. Okay, yeah. So Sky's going to beat down Zaki Draghi. She's just gone off now to work on beating Zaki Draghi down and is going to write an angry rap battle song, I heard, about how she's going to take the record. So that's really exciting. So thanks for that, Sky.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, Sky's
Welcome
here.
back.
Wow, that was a quick rap
so-
battle.
Hey, we were just talking about you.
So I couldn't reconnect the call, and you guys were talking about me behind my back. I see how that is.
Right.
Well, we're
Oh,
talking
not
about how
behind your
you were
back,
going to
on
beat
the
Zaki
street.
Draghi.
now.
Excuse me. Publicly talking about you. Thank you very much.
Clearly in front of her back.
Just with a few of our closest friends.
Yeah,
yeah.
100 of their friends.
Oh, internet. We didn't see you. Oh, wait a minute. We did that joke already.
But yeah, so you're gonna beat down Zaki, so that's good.
I wouldn't go that far. It's going to take me a little while to learn it. I learned speed games in weird ways, so. But,
Okay.
no, again, thanks to the people who come out and watch our streams. You know, people who donate games to us, like Paradox, thank you very much. You know, without her and without support from people like her, that also facilitates our speedrunning as well. And of course, thank you to my partner authorblues for putting a lot of time and effort into this run as well.
authorblues, go.
I want to shout out to Sky because she's awesome and she lets me co-op speedrun with her. I also want to give a shout out to my mom because she's awesome. So
And lets you go off speedrun with yeah.
Nice, good stuff. We're gonna play 3 minutes of ads after the show.
Raid target.
Find a raid. Did you not have one already?
I've got a good one. I've got a good one. Hang on.
Okay.
It's related to what we were discussing, and he's only got a few viewers. So here we go.
Okay.
How's that grab you?
Our raid message. You have a raid message?
I don't know. I don't have raid messages.
You don't have raid messages?
Help! Everything's exploding. That's the raid message.
Lord of the speedruns, return of the glitches.
There you go.
How about shoutouts to my mom?
Yeah, shoutouts to my mum.
Shoutouts to exploding internet.
Because she's awesome and she lets me co-op speedrun. So
okay,
we're rating Pro Ace Joker, and the shoutout is shoutout.
Oh god, it's dying again. Hurry, you idiot!
This is a thing.
There you go.
Yeah, hurry!
There you go. That's
wait,
the
everything
target.
went. Yes. Everything got all clear again now.
We're gonna add
right after you said, and the
shout of ads at the end of the show. Check out next week's episode, which is very likely going to be Dark Souls 1 or 2, or Dark Souls 1 and 2. I don't know which, but Nubis will be there. Distortion will be there, I think, is the other guest, but it's Dark Souls.
The Sunday Sequence Break.